Good evening, ham radio operators, and welcome to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November, and I'm going to be your net controller for this evening. Before we get going, is there any emergency or priority traffic in this frequency? Alright, well, we're here every Thursday night starting at 8 p.m. via the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club frequencies and the University Link repeater system. I'm transmitting tonight from East Austin, and I'm using the 147.320 repeater. And for more information regarding the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, the club's repeater system, and how to become a member, please visit n5oak.org. You can also participate in this net using the University Link repeater system. If you would like more information about the University Link repeater system, and if you want to know what Kyle, KA5D, is up to, please visit ka5d.com. If you're listening online and you are outside of Austin, you can still participate in this net, and we would love to hear from you too. The way to get in is via Echolink by connecting to N5OAK-R, that's November 5, Oscar Alpha Kilo-Romeo, or KA5D-R, that's Kilo Alpha 5 Delta-Romeo. You can also reach us via All-Star by connecting to node 51444. If you're listening through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system, be sure your tone is set to 114.8. For the University Link repeater system, set your tone to 97.4. For club members, we have our very own Thursday Night Net channel on Discord. So swing by and say hi to the folks hanging out there during the net. If you're not a member, what are you waiting for? It's free to join the club, dude. So run to n5oak.org and sign up to become a member and to join our Discord group. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Papa Zulu November, and I'll be your net controller for this evening. This is a control net, meaning stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-ins or coming times. If you're new ham, or just new to the net, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net is a social net. We get together every week to share knowledge, ask questions, and just to hang out. Super easy to check into this net. In just a little bit, I am going to ask for check-ins. And I'll take down a list of all of you that wish to say hi. Once we have everyone checked in, I'll go down the list one at a time, and I will give you the floor. Feel free to ask questions pertaining to ham radio or any other interesting family-friendly subject. Tell us about something you've been working on. You don't have to have just a story to call in. You can just call in to say hi. We just want to hear from you. Remember, there is no net without check-ins. And man, oh man, do we have a hamtastic net for you tonight. We are going to be doing short time check-ins in a little bit, and for those of you who need to get going. And then we're going to review a question or two from the Generalizing License exam. And then after that, we do ham news section. And then we do fox hunting as well, fox hunting news. And after that, we'll get our club announcements and updates from the president. And after that, we'll move on to the regular check-ins, or like Uncle Ray liked to say, the meat and potatoes of the net. If you missed the first round of check-ins, don't worry. I will grab you on the next round. Please avoid topics, politics, religion, or anything else potentially inflammatory. Remember that this net should be anti-inflammatory. Please keep it clean, nice, and appropriate. This is a family-friendly net. Alright, well, it's time for station ID and the opening of the net for check-in, so please stand by. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, @ N50AK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central with a different net controller every week to keep it fun and interesting. My name is Ernesto, KI5PZN. That's Papa Zulu November, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. It is time for short time check-ins. Short time check-ins means operator who could not stay for the entire net. I will not open the floor for comments or questions for the short timers. That way you can call in, you say hi, I say hi, and you can go on and do your thing. If you check in as a short timer and later you want to rejoin the net because, you know, this is an awesome net, please feel free to recheck. Rechecks are always welcome. When checking in, key in the mic and say this is, and then pause for a second and listen to see if you are doubling with somebody else. And if not, you just hit the mic again and come in with your name and call sign. Don't forget to give me your name as well. That's kind of important for me because I'm slow in this, still writing down the call sign. And if you don't know, I still keep the log for this net the old-fashioned way. I still use a quill and a scroll. So when you call in, please slow down on the call sign and name. Again, I'm not very fast at this, but I'll get it one day. So if you are busy tonight, but you still want to get on the log and say a quick hi, I'm looking for short timers in any mode, anywhere. Please come in with your call sign and name slowly.
This is KI5OBD, Scott and Kyle. This is Kilo Alpha 5 Delta, Kyle, Austin, no traffic.
This is Kilo India 5 Yankee India Alpha Marshall, and I finally have something to say.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Cannon, South Austin, no traffic.
I got Scott, Kyle, Marshall, and Ken. Anybody else who would like to check in for short time check-ins, please call in with your name and call sign. Let's go and check with Mr. Scott, KI5OBD. Scott, what's going on, man? It's really nice hearing you on the net, man. How's life treating you?
Thanks, Ernesto. Pretty good. I got nothing much to talk about, really. Just wanted to check in, say hi. It's been a while. Been busy, but it's great to be back on the net. Hey, everybody. I'm flying solo this week. The XYL's in Alaska cruising, so it's me and the dogs this week. So we're having a great time. Cat5OBD, back to net.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah, dude, it's really nice to hear you. I haven't heard you in a while. I know, man, life gets busy like that, and you know, all of a sudden you look at your calendar and it's been a couple of months since you haven't done any radio, and we all go through that. So it's really nice to hear you. Have you been doing HF any chance or digital mode? Back to you, Scott.
I fought with MMRTTY for hours the weekend. Was it last weekend? It's a big RTTY contest. I fought with that for hours after it ceased to be fun, and I still couldn't get transmit. I couldn't get to transmit. So, but I did. So I went back to single sideband, and 10 meters was open. I talked to Spain, Canada, and Costa Rica last weekend. So that was fun. KI5OBD.
Very cool, man. Yeah, you're not the first person I hear having issues with the reedy mode. Sounds like it's a little bit of a pain in the hiney to get it up and running, but hopefully you will get that sorted out soon and get that mode up and running for you. And 10 meters, I haven't checked 10 meters in a little bit. I spend, my time on 11 and they go hand by hand, but I haven't been checking the 10-meter band lately. Well, sounds like it's starting to come up again. Have you tried any 6 meters lately? I haven't touched that one either. Back to you.
No, I've made maybe 2 or 3 contacts ever on 6 meters. I have a set of elements on my fan dipole specifically for 6 meters. I don't get on there much and don't hear much when I do. KI5OBD.
I know, man. It's how it goes with 6 meters. It could be awesome, or it could just be static, which seems to be the case every time I turn it on. But one of these days I'll jump in the wagon and enjoy awesome ZX on 6 meters. Well, very cool, man. I'm glad to hear that you are back on the radio and that you've been messing around with reading modes and trying to get your mojo going there. That's pretty neat. Do you still have your mic? Do you still have that set up? Back to you.
Yes, sir. Using it right now. I love my Heil PR781. The finest ham radio mic made, in my opinion.
Well, very cool, man. Glad to hear that's also a thing. I saw it. It looks really cool. One of these days, I'll get one of those to feel like I'm driving a Cadillac. Well, Scott, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, can't think of nothing, but it's been fun chatting with you, Ernesto. Thanks a lot, and thanks everybody on the net. We'll try to see you again next week. KI5OBD. Good night.
Well, right on, man. I appreciate you checking in. You feel free to tune in tomorrow. We are going to have tomorrow the traveling taconet that goes from 7 until 9 p.m. We're going to Randy's house, so just in case you're looking for some radio activity that's happening tomorrow, like around 9. Well, Scott, it's around 7. I say 7 till 9. Scott, it's really nice talking to you, man. And if you are around, stick around, because we're having an awesome net tonight, and you can always recheck as a regular check-in when we get over there. Guys, that was Scott, KI5OBD. We're really happy to have him on the net. And then after Scott, we have Kyle, KI5D, with no traffic. Thank you, Kyle, for checking in. I hope you are having an awesome evening. And let's see, after Kyle, we got Marshall, KI5YI8. Marshall, what's going on, man? How is life treating you?
KI5YIA. Life is good. No complaints. For Rusty's benefit, I'm sorry the Cowboys lost. I do have something to say, and I'm sort of addressing it to Rusty, but anybody on the net that might have a suggestion or two, I'm hoping to hear anything. Rusty's kind of giving me the business about getting on Discord, and I'm a blind person, and so I tried to do it about a year ago, and I had a real problem with it, so I didn't. And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Rusty mentioned to me, "Why aren't you on Discord? You need to be on Discord." So this week, along with my wife, we tried to set up Discord. And what I have found is that Discord is not accessible for people with visual disabilities, and that really bummed me out. So what I have done is I have sent a message to them asking about accessibility issues and the best way to get back so that I could use Discord. But I haven't heard anything from them yet. You have to email them, and they email you back, and sometimes that they're not as fast. I'd rather talk to somebody, to be honest. But I'm waiting to hear from them. But if anybody had any suggestions on anything else I could do, I am open to hear about it.
Marshall, thanks for sharing that with us. I know a couple of guys that are blind. My son is also blind, so I'm very familiar with how navigating this world is from the blind perspective. But I do know a couple of guys that are in Discord that are blind, and if you want to, I could put you in contact with them because they somehow figured out a way of navigating the app. If you want to, you can shoot me an email. And my email is my call sign, KI5PZN, Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November @gmail.com. And I could put you in contact with at least two of the guys that I know that use Discord pretty often, and they told me that they figured something out to navigate the software. So feel free to shoot me an email, man, and I'll put you in contact with those guys while the Discord guys, make some, if they do, make some changes to, I'm sure they will, to the app. Back to you.
Thanks, Ernesto. That is great to know. Yes, I will send you an email, and let me make sure I have it right. It's your email address is KA5PMN. Is that correct?
No, it's Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November. Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November @gmail.com.
I got it. You'll get an email either tonight or tomorrow. This is KA5YA, back to net.
Well, USA, man, that makes me really happy. Hopefully we'll get you out there, and I'm sure that you'll figure it out because those guys already got it down. Well, very cool, Marshall. Do you have anything else going on, man? Back to you.
No, it's pretty quiet. Gonna watch UT Bash Kansas Saturday afternoon and just chill out. KA5YA, back to net.
Well, very cool, man. Well, don't forget that we have the Traveling Taco Net tomorrow night from 7 till 9 on these same frequencies with yours truly. And we're going to have tomorrow Randy, KC3NAG. It's going to be a fun one. He's a fun dude as well. Well, I'm not a fun dude. He is a fun dude. Well, very cool, man. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, Ernesto, I am cool for the night, and I usually listen through the first set of check-ins, not the short term, but the long term, and then my dog is telling me he wants to go out and go to bed, so I take him out and go to bed. Otherwise, I'm doing fine. KI5YA, back to net.
Oh, no, man, I get it. You know, when I'm running this net, I usually have a cup of coffee, and it's like an espresso around 6:30, and that explains why I'm all wired up here. And then the issue is that then I have to wind down after the net. But, you know, it keeps me awake and up and running. Well, Marshall, thank you so much for checking in tonight. I'm going to be looking for your email, and hopefully you will get that issue sorted out, and you get to enjoy Discord because it's a lot of fun. And we'll be hopefully hearing from you tomorrow and listening and hearing from you, throughout the week. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll be talking to you soon. Let me do a quick idea here before I get in trouble. If you just turn on your radio, you are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign N50AK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN. That's Papa Zulu November, in case you didn't know. I am your net controller for tonight's net. And we were talking to Marshall, KI5YIA, and now we're going to get the next one is Ken, KI6HQT with no traffic. Thank you, Ken, for always checking in. Hopefully we'll get to hang out one of these days again. And Ken was my last person here on my first round of short time check-ins. I'm going to open it up again just in case there are people out there who like to do a short time check-in because they don't have a lot of time to be in this net for 3 hours. So if you would like to check in as a short timer, please call Net Control with your call sign and your name.
Kilo 5, Delta Alpha Victor, this is Dave.
This is KB5MPJ, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike Papa Juliet, Jason and Buda.
This is Steve, AI5ND, Alpha India 5, November Delta, no traffic.
We got Dave here. Well, Dave, Jason, and Steve. We're going to go check with Dave, K5DAV. Dave, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Hey Ernesto, I got my antennas up and I'm doing good here. You know, I really enjoy Marshall saying he's going to watch the UT football game with me. Kind of a joke, but I understand what he meant. It's great to hear from you guys. I hear Jason's out here in Buda with me somewhere. Back to you, Ernesto.
Right on, man. Very cool. I'm glad you have, what antennas do you have up there that you set up? Back to you.
Yeah, I've got, for VHF, UHF, I've got the Comet 333, and I've got it on a military tripod about 25 feet in the air, and then I've got my cobweb that I fixed. It's sitting about 25 feet in the air as well for my HF, and actually I've got a new radio for it, a Kenwood 590SG. Back to you.
Well, very cool, man. Sounds like you're all set for success there. When did you turn everything on? Did you just set it up? Back to you.
Yeah, last week, you know, we've been at this new place about a month, so I tried to get my antennas up and working, and we got everything up last week. I was on a net about last week, and I've got some time tonight, so I decided to jump on and maybe catch my buddy Will, W6FU. Back to you.
I like that call sign. Well, very cool, man. I'm glad to hear that, you know, you got everything back up and running. Yeah, it's fun when you get the radios back up after being off the air for a little bit. I get anxious. I feel like I'm incommunicated when I don't have the radios plugged in. Well, cool, man. Do you have any plans for the weekend? Back to you.
Yeah, we're going to be watching the football game, obviously, watch UTB Kansas, and be cutting some old fenders off my trailer. I've got some new fenders for it. We're going to try to get the Jeep out, get the top off, get naked, and go drive around this week in the Jeep. So hopefully we'll have some fun. Hopefully the weather will stick to lower 90s. Back to you.
Yeah, man, it's that glorious time of the year where we can, you know, drive around with the windows down and top down if you have a convertible or something like that. So it's nice, and also we get it's a good time to get out there now and do all the antenna projects now that the temperatures seem to be a little bit less hideous on this side, because it was just bad, man. It was just really hot. Well, very cool, man. Appreciate you checking into the net. Do you have anything else before we move on, Dave?
No, I just wish everybody a good weekend, and wish UT good luck, and I'll end that at 7-3.
All right, Dave. Thanks again for checking in. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have an awesome weekend and the game goes as as you would like it to go. I don't follow sports, but I mean the only sports that I do are the ones that you can do while holding a beer or some sort of beverage. But But hopefully everything goes well, man, and you guys enjoy the week, and thanks again for checking in. Well, that was Dave, K5DAV. Now we're going to go and check with Mr. Jason, KB5MPJ. Jason, what is going on, my friend?
KB5MPJ. Yeah, not too much. The only radio I've done was Southside Simplex, but that was good. We were on for several hours on Tuesday on 146.555, and did the CWNet tonight, and caught the tail end of it. Made contact with Sam, and that's kind of been a whole lot of time to be on the radio. Did Slacker chat on the way home from work on Tuesday. So mostly just a little local VHF, UHF, back to net.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, I haven't been able to do the Southside Simplex in a while. Been usually on Tuesday night or something happening, but that seems to be, seems like you guys are getting more people nowadays than in the last few months, sounds like. I don't know if that's we get more people interested on the net, or now that's just that the weather is a little bit nicer, people are setting up their antennas. But how many people, do you remember if you have, how many people you got yesterday? Back to you.
So, I think it was like 4 people. We had Sky, Ray, Mike was on there. There was another guy, Lee, down in Kyle, on an HT. I was the only one that was able to hear him, but he checked in with us. So yeah, just a few. You know, some nights we have more than others, but that was a pretty good turnout.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, like I said, it's been a while. I need to, one of the Tuesdays when I have the chance, jump in and say hi to you guys. I remember it was a couple of weeks ago that I had it on, and there were a bunch of people on the Southside Simplex roundtable, so that was really interesting and cool to hear. Well, very cool, man. Are you going to Belton? Back to you.
No, I'm not going to be able to. Got a bunch of stuff that I've got to do. Are you going?
Yeah, the plan is hopefully that, you know, I can make it. Looking for HF antenna for my car and anything else that shows up that might be, you know, a good deal. Actually, I'm also looking for an old school, really heavy duty straight key for CW as well. So we'll see if something comes out of this one. Back to you.
Yeah, that sounds like stuff you could find there. I've seen some pretty good, you know, straight keys and bugs and stuff for sale there. So, yeah, you can probably find something. You gonna go early?
Yeah, I like to get there by the time they're opening, if possible. I mean, last year or in the spring, this is the last one, the spring. I got really lucky and got a really nice paddle. I think you've seen it, pictures. It's a vintage. I don't even know what that thing is, but it's like 10 pounds. I can kill somebody with that paddle. So I'm really looking for something like that, but for straight keys, something really heavy and old and you know, like it looks like something that looks like a tank. Hopefully, back to you.
Yeah, I would think you'd be able to find plenty of keys, and you know, and on HF stuff, you know, if you look around, you know, you can find deals. I haven't bought any HF stuff at you know, at Belton, but you know, I did see some good older radios. I saw a Kenwood TS120S last time I went. That's the one that I've got, and that's a great little you know, vintage entry-level radio. Mine's still working after all these years, so you never know what you might find. I think they were only asking like maybe $200 for it or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you take your time and you get there early enough, you can find some really good deals. I mean, obviously a bunch of stuff that I don't need, but hopefully the ones that I'm looking for I'll be able to find, which I think I should. Last year I remember seeing a bunch of those keys, but there's so many people around the table that I kind of gave up from waiting for them to move and then forgot about them. But yeah, that's the plan, man. That's the plan. So it's work related, or you having other plans you need to attend to? Back to you.
Mostly like neglected stuff around the house. It's so hot outside.
Oh, cool, man. So that means that we still have time to convince you to go to Belton. Well, cool, man. I'm kidding. I won't. I'm messing with you. Jason, do you have anything else for the net before we move on, my friend?
No, I think that's it. Thanks for doing the net, Ernesto. Back to net. KB5MPJ.
All right, Jason. Well, I appreciate you checking into the net, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you around. That was Jason, KB5MPJ, and then after Jason, we have Steve, AI5ND with no traffic. Let's see. Anybody else that would like to check in for short timers before we move on? All right. Nothing heard, so I guess everybody else will be coming in as a regular check-in. That is really awesome. So let's see. Well, before we get into regular check-ins, we are going to review a question or two from the ARRL current general exam. If you have a technician license, this will give you a sample of what the test is about. And if you already passed your general exam, well, it's always nice to review the material. So we are going to pass the mic to Blake. KI5ZTW. Blake is going to be helping us out tonight with the questions. Blake, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Ernesto. Blake here, KI5ZTW, coming in from Spicewood, Texas, with tonight's general question pool questions for all technicians and generals. So, question one, stand by, here it comes. On which of the following bands is image transmission prohibited? A, 160 meters, B, 30 meters, C, 20 meters, D, 12 meters. Come now with your call sign and answer.
Q6 Fox uniform, I'm going to go with 30 meters.
Anybody else care to take a stab at tonight's general question? Question number one. All right, well, with that being said, we're going to wrap up question one, and the correct answer was Bravo, B, 30 meters. Image transmission is prohibited on 30 meters. On to question two. What is the maximum symbol rate permitted for RTTY or data emissions transmission on the 10-meter band? Is it A, 56 baud, or 56 kilobaud, sorry. Bravo, 19.6 kilobaud. C, 1200 baud, or D, 300 baud. Come now with your call sign and answer.
BBS, put me down for Alpha.
KG5TNF. I'm not sure. I'm going to pass. I can't quite remember.
Q6 Fox uniform, I'll go 1200. I don't know though.
The maximum symbol rate permitted for RTTY or data transmissions on the 10-meter band is Charlie, 1200 baud. Sort of like the old modems we used to have back in the 80s, calling up BBSs, 1200 baud is where it sort of started. I guess 300 it started, but Rusty and I had an interesting conversation one night about old BBSs, and that was back in the 1200 baud days. And so yeah, the answer is Charlie. That's it for tonight's general questions. Back to net control.
All right, Blake, thank you so much for helping out with the question, man. Hope that everything goes well. We'll talk to you a little bit later, but thanks again, man. And for those of you who are thinking about upgrading your license, or if you know someone who is interested in getting licensed, we are going to be doing an in-person test session, I guess you could call that, VE session. And after our quarterly meeting in October the 21st, so keep an eye for that. And if you would like to sign up for that, you can go to m50aka.org and hit on get license and get the party started that way. All right, well, let me do a quick ID. And you are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, #N50AK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. I'm going to pass the mic now to Steve, KI5UKF, for tonight's news. Steve, the mic is yours.
Hey Ernesto, thanks for running the net. This is KI5UKF with tonight's ham radio news. Our stories tonight are all going to come from the Amateur Radio Newsline report for Friday, September the 15th, 2023. The first story is titled Ham Deployment Unclear in Moroccan-Libyan Crisis. The aftermath of a 6.8 magnitude earthquake in Morocco on September 8th and deadly massive flooding in northeast Libya, according to reports from Region 1 of the International Amateur Radio Union, there was no apparent organized amateur radio deployment in Morocco, where the quake death toll was reported to be in the thousands. The IARU continues to monitor the situation. Meanwhile, ham deployments were considered less likely in Libya, where floods from a storm left more than 5,200 dead. According to the IARU website, Libya does not have an active member amateur society. Newsline will update these stories as circumstances warrant. Our second story is titled U.S. Military Explores Wideband Above 100 Gigahertz. Despite their potential for use in communications, radio frequencies in the terahertz and sub-terahertz ranges, that is, those above 100 gigahertz, are considered underutilized. The United States Air Force is about to share its plans for a radio they are hoping could change all that. A project in the works in the U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory is exploring the potential that radio frequencies above 100 gigahertz have for secure wideband communications. The military is looking to develop an ultra-broadband radio that can adjust output power, data rate, and even carrier frequency, and are hoping to find defense contractors in the industry who can assist with the project. Although frequencies in those ranges, which can be used for 6G communications, have a high level of atmospheric absorption that can restrict how far the transmissions travel, the military is hoping to capitalize on the frequency's ability to accommodate secure channels. The Air Force is hosting an informational day for the industry next month and will be looking for defense contractors who are U.S. citizens to get on board with that project. Early experiments have already proven successful, according to a report on the Inside Towers website. Last December, communication was achieved at frequencies higher than 300 gigahertz during flight experiments by the Air Force, which has been exploring these options for almost a decade. And our final story tonight is titled U.S. Government Blocks Salvage of Titanic's Wireless. In the latest chapter surrounding the controversial salvage operations at the wreckage of the Titanic, the U.S. government is challenging a company's plans to recover the doomed ocean liner's wireless telegraph. The planned recovery of the Marconi wireless telegraph from the wreckage of the doomed luxury liner Titanic is being blocked by the United States government, citing federal law and an agreement with Great Britain that the ship should be treated as a gravesite. the salvage company RMS Titanic Incorporated, based in Georgia, had announced its plan to visit the wreck site next May to recover items, including the radio and telegraph used to send the distress call in 1912. Attorneys for the U.S. government claimed the expedition would violate a pact with Great Britain that classifies the wreckage as a memorial. The government also maintains that the salvage ship trip would violate protections that the U.S. Congress granted the Titanic site. The RMS Titanic Company has particular interest in the Marconi room, where messages in Morse code were transmitted signaling that the ship was damaged after striking an iceberg in the North Atlantic while en route to New York from Southampton, England. RMST, which had been granted salvage rights earlier by the court, told the Associated Press recently, quote, "The company will continue its work, respectfully preserving the memory and legacy of Titanic, her passengers and crew for the future generations," end quote. The company plans to put the radio in an exhibit that tells the story of the lost liner. In May 2020, the court gave RMST permission to recover the radio because of its historic significance, but the U.S. government challenged plans for the expedition that year, and the expedition was called off. That's all our ham radio news for tonight. Back to you, Ernesto, Net Control.
Well, thank you, Steve, for helping out with the news tonight. Those are very interesting news there, and those of you hams that are interested in helping out with emergencies, we do Aries and races. So that's something that if that interested you, you should look into it. We do have a channel for Aries on Discord, so you can go and check that out. Or if you're not on Discord, you can shoot me an email. I can put you in contact with the Aries and races guys in case you are interested in helping out, or be prepared to help out during emergencies. Anybody have any questions or comments about tonight's news? If so, please call in with your name and call sign. All right, Steve, thanks again for helping out with the news tonight. Those were really interesting articles. All right, well, it's time to pass the mic to Sky and 5LX for Fox News. Sky, the mic is yours, my friend.
Thanks, Ernesto. This is N5LX. So, Fox Hunt results for the weekend of Friday evening, September 22nd to the 24th. There were a couple of different fox hunts, I think. One of them I'm not too sure about. It looks like John, KE5RS, hosted a fox hunt near Divine Lake in Leander, but I didn't see any results posted on Discord, so maybe if he's listening or if somebody else knows about it, they can fill us in on the details. Rusty, WZ5BBS, he hosted a hunt as well, and it was a really awesome hunt. I found the fox, and I think John, KE5RS, found it also. There was one participant, I think, who posted on Discord. I think it was William, KC6ARO. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, somebody. Anyway, he said he was searching for it, but he never heard a signal. And I was just going to maybe comment on that. When I was hunting for that, the signal definitely was weak and kind of erratic as far as the pattern was going. So I can see how it would have been pretty difficult. I think I attributed my success to maybe a little bit of luck. I'm going to reset real quick. I think I had a little luck going my way, but also I think one of the main reasons I found it is just something I learned a while back. I stop frequently and do a sweep with the Yagi, and I don't think I picked up that signal on my mobile whip antenna until I was like really close, so I probably wouldn't have found it if I hadn't have been doing that. So if anybody else out there is, if you're ever having trouble getting ears on, as Jeff would say, to a Fox, you might try that. You probably can figure out some other way to do it, but I think basically just use a gain antenna if you have one, and maybe try different things and see. But anyway, that fox hunt was a lot of fun. I think it was in an unusual spot, and I enjoyed it. I hope John did also. Let's see, what else? I'm going to do another reset. Oh yeah, Rusty posted a picture on Discord. Relatively close to where he hit the fox, there was this really cool, really impressive kind of a ham antenna farm. There were 2 towers and maybe 4 or 5 Yagis. I'm not sure I got the count right. But anyway, John said it belonged to Bob, W5EMC, and I have to say it looked like a really nice antenna arrangement. I don't know if anybody out there knows Bob, but might let him know that we saw his antennas and very impressed. Also posted on Discord, it looks like Alex, W4ALX. He's building a new fox hunt transmitter. From the looks of it, looks like he's incorporating an Arduino into the design, so I'd be really interested to see that project, how it turns out when he's done, and also looking forward to hunting it down. Reset again. Anyway, I'll be hosting a fox hunt this weekend, so if anybody's interested, you can check it out. Go to the N5OAK website, click on the Fox Hunt tab for details, or even better probably, go to the Fox Hunt Discord channel. And as always, if you haven't tried out a fox hunt yet, but you think you might be interested, check out the Discord channel for sure. There's a fox hunt channel there, and then there's another one where we post maps. And then in the upper right, there's a tab. I can't remember what you call that. It's like a stick pin icon. If you click on that, you can get details like on how to fox hunt techniques and how to build your antenna and stuff like that. Anyway, also, the one more thing. If you're interested in hosting a fox hunt, I'm going to reset again. If you're interested in maybe hosting a fox hunt, trying your hand at that, which that's really fun as well, you can contact Rusty, WZ5BBS, to check on the availability of the club's fox hunt transmitter. The club does have one. Anyway, that's all for now for Fox Hunt News. Back to you, Ernesto. This is N5LX.
Well, thank you, Sky. That was very nice. Fox Hunt News is funny because, about a year or 2 years ago, we were talking about fox hunting on the radio, and you asked about it because that's something that you were not doing at the time, and now you're one of the most experienced fox hunters of the group, so it's kind of cool to see you getting there, man. You've gotten really, really good at it. Just practice makes the champion. Well, thanks again, Sky, for helping out with Fox News tonight. And for everybody listening, Sky was saying, it's a lot of fun. You can bring your kids and make it into a family event over the weekend. It's a lot of fun. All right. Let's pass the mic now to Rusty, WZ5EBS, our president, with the club's announcement. Rusty, the mic is yours.
Thanks, sir. Howdy, everybody on the net. Just to what Sky was saying, I do have the official Club Fox, and that's the one that I put out, and it seems to be lower on the signal side or something funny. Maybe I can convince Sky to take a look at it. But until then, if you would like to hide it, there's very few rules other than, keep it far enough back that people can't find it. And ping me on the Discord because it's charged up, ready to go, and you can do your very first fox hunt or be your very first fox. This is So thanks to Sky and 5LX for updating us on all our Fox News. Thanks to Blake, KI5ZTW, and Steve, KI5UKF, for the news and the questions. Real quick, Marshall, if you're still out there listening, I just approved you on the Discord, so you're good to go. And I don't know this for a fact, but you might try. I know with Discord has an app you can download, and you can also do it on the web. And you might have better luck on the web because the web browser would have more voice capabilities than their app maybe. So if you downloaded the app, go to discord.com and log in there and see if maybe that'll help you out. Not 100% on that, but maybe that'll point you in at least a direction. As far as official members go, we have 2 new members from last week, bringing the number up to 572 members. We have Brad, KE0YRX, and we got Joe, KJ5 Bravo X-Ray Victor. So welcome to the club, guys. Hopefully we will hear you on the repeater and see you in the Discord sooner than later. Not a member and you're just hanging out there looking for something to do, it is free to join the club. You can do all of that at n5oak.org. You can also donate as well. We're still looking for a little more money in the bank account if possible. So we use Zelle, which is easy and built into every bank app pretty much known to man. So yeah, you can send us money to donate at n5oak.org. All the details online at n5oak.org. While you're there, you can also grab some gear, get the logo on a coffee mug and t-shirts and hoodies and all that kind of fun stuff. At some point, the weather is going to cool off at some point. We also have the contest calendar up there now. I forget who puts that together for us, but it is the major contest calendar. So if you're looking to get into contests, if you don't know when contests are, like the Riddy one last weekend, you can find that on the website as well. Our next club meeting is October 21st, so it's coming up sooner than later. It'll be at the Hawson branch of the Austin Public Library. The details for that are on the website and in the Discord channel. And after that, we will be licensing people, and it's all electronic. It is super easy to do, so if it is time to upgrade, time to get your buddy licensed, we will be doing that after the club meeting on October 21st at the same spot, the Hawson branch of the Austin Public Library. You can sign up online, register, pay, the whole bit. You walk in the door with your driver's license and take the test. It is super easy. So if it's time to upgrade your license or get somebody licensed, October 21st is the next time to do it. I believe we have already got 4 people signed up for it, so make sure you get in there. And the only way to save a spot is to send us money. It's all done online as well, but that'll guarantee you a spot. Guest speaker for this month's club meeting will be Will, KC2ZZR. He'll be talking about Meshtastic. He's got the Austin Mesh Club. And if I go look real quick, the Austin Mesh Club is meeting on Friday, October 6th at 6 p.m. at the Black Sheep Lodge. So if you're interested in mesh networking and getting all that kinds of stuff put up, he's working on getting the mesh network around Travis County and everything up and running, and we're trying to help him out. So if you're interested in mesh and how it works, he will be at the next club meeting. He's going to bring some fun toys to play with and answer all your questions about how mesh works and what's going on. So come hang out with us and Will, KC2ZZR. We got Belton coming up October 7th, which is not this weekend, but next weekend. And it'll be early on Saturday morning. So October 7th is Belton. Keep your eyes on the Hamfest channel. And then we got the Park Potluck coming up November 4th. And the details, we've got a Park Potluck channel. November 4th, Park Potluck, it will be at the McKinney Falls State Park. Fox hunts and foods, parks on the air. We had about 30 or 40 people last time show up. We're going to be doing fried chicken, so bring something that goes with fried chicken. You will need to buy tickets to the park. They will not be available until a month prior. So that's coming up. They'll open up those, and you all can buy them. I think it's $6 a head to get into the park. Sounds like Sky is going to put out a Fox this weekend, so that'll be fun. We'll have something to go down south. I might actually put another one out up here out north. So keep your eyes on the Fox Hunt channel, and you'll figure out when and where all those are. If you're interested in it and you're not real sure what to do, how to do, meet up with us for Old Man Breakfast at 8 a.m. We go and sabotage the Austin Ham Radio Club at the Waterloo Ice House. It's a good group of guys, but we call it Old Man Breakfast for a reason. 8 a.m. at the Waterloo Ice House, 183 in Burnett. Details are on the calendar on the website over at n5oak.org. So come hang out with us, and Dawson and I think, what's his name, Ernesto Blake, those are the two dudes that wait on us. Super nice, and it's early, but Old Man Breakfast is always fun. And we're always looking for new net controllers, so if this is something that sounds like fun, if you want to come in and hang out and run the show, the best way to start out is to do the news, sign up to do the news or the questions, and we usually throw that out a couple days before the net. So come hang out, do the exam questions like Blake, read the news like Steve. Steve's the newest net control, and Steve, I got a hat for you as well. You were the winner of the last net controller hat. So we got to figure out, maybe it'll be at the meeting, but next time I see you, man, I got a hat with your name on it. So net controllers, if you want to come play net control, ping somebody in the Discord. And of course, the easiest way to stay up to date is to subscribe to the official club calendar. I just spouted off a bunch of stuff, and lots of nets. We got something for you to do every day. Our club, the Austin Club, the Williamson County Club, the Aries Club. We have all the nets, all the frequencies, all the anything and everything you want to know as to how to stay radioactive in Travis County and surrounding. Head over to n5oak.org and click on the calendar tab. You can subscribe to the calendar, and we will fill it in every time we add something new, or if anything changes, it will magically happen on your calendar. I think that's all I have, Senor. Oh, we got the Traveling Taco Net. My bad. Traveling Taco Net is coming up this Friday. It's the last Friday of the month. Ernesto is shagging over to Randy's house, and they're going to have a great time over there. So tune in for the Traveling Taco Net. I think it starts at 7:30. Sorry, man. I've got too much other stuff, but he'll be talking about it. He said at 9. He didn't even know what time it starts. Traveling Taco Net will be on Friday. That's all I got, man, and I'll see you on the first or second round of regular check-ins. KI5, PZN, WZ5BBS, back to net control.
Hi, Mr. Presidente. I really appreciate you helping out with all of that stuff. That's a lot of information. Yeah, the Traveling Taco is from 7 until 9. You know, I'm kind of special. I forget half of the stuff. I sneeze and half of the information that I have in my brain goes away, and it takes a little bit of time to load again, like an old computer. So thank you, Rusty. Again, let me do an ID here. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. I'm about to get started with check-ins. New hams are encouraged to check in, so if you are a new ham or you haven't been on the air much since you got licensed, this is perfect net for you, man. We will absolutely love to hear from you. So come say hi, because we all get excited when new hams check in. It's a thing, man. It's a thing. We all get super excited when new people call in. To help with the conversation flow here, I have a question. And the question for tonight is, do you have a favorite conspiracy theory? That's the question for tonight. If you have it, if you would like to share it with us, that will be really cool. You don't have to answer tonight's question, but it'll be a lot cooler if you did. All right, well, let's do a regular check-in. Any licensed operator is welcome to check in. No club membership is required to participate. And I am looking for regular check-ins. Any mode, anywhere, just call in with your name and call sign.
My name's Jerry. I'm in Caldwell County. This is Kilo Golf 5, Uniform November Kilo, Doug North Austin.
This is Kilo India 5, Uniform Kilo Foxtrot, Steve in Dripping Springs.
This is T6 Fox Uniform. This is Whiskey Bravo 5, Hotel.
The last one, the transmission was very scratchy. I copied Whiskey Bravo, and that's the last thing I heard. Would you mind coming in again?
Whiskey Bravo 5, Hotel Victor Charlie, visiting from Grayson County.
Got it. Anybody else would like to check in as a regular check-in, please call Night Control with your name and call sign.
KI-5, ZTW, Blake, Spicewood.
This is
KI-5JT, Rick in Leander.
This is Kilo Charlie 3, November Alpha Golf, Randy, Andersonville, coming in on the flagship, 320.
This is it. This is N5LX Sky in Oak Hill.
This is Kilo Echo 0, Yankee Romeo X-Ray, Brad in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Anybody else would like to check in as a regular check-in, please call in with your name and call sign. All right, let's go and check with Mr. Jerry. KG5PKP. Jerry, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Oh, not much. I have a question if I could ask you.
Absolutely, ask away.
That repeater, the University repeater, it has a 6-meter band repeater on it. I noticed, I looked it online. Seems to be the only one in Austin. Does that also link up with the repeater out at Oak Hill?
Jerry, the 6-meter repeater that you're talking about that's on at the UT place, I think that's been dead for a long time. I went up there about a year and a half or a little bit longer than that when we were setting up the 220 repeater, which is in the same location, and we were looking at that 6-meter repeater, and that thing looks like it's been dead, longer than some of this guy's been alive. Back to you.
So it's not in operation anymore?
Oh, not for now. I talked to the guy who owns the repeater, who puts it up there. He goes to the breakfast on Saturdays, and he said that he needed to fix it. So I guess at some point he'll work on that. I'm sure he's busy doing all kinds of stuff. So I think he's got more than one. I think there used to be there's another 220 repeater in that building that's also not working properly. When you key in and you hear the CW code coming back at you, it sounds like it's going underwater. So those two need some loving before they could be reused, if they should be reused. Back to you, Jerry.
Do you know of any other 6-meter band repeaters around the Austin area?
No, I do not. I haven't. I mean, I guess by now I would have heard that. But again, I only been a ham for a couple of years. Anybody out there that is aware of a 6-meter repeater in this area and would like to call in the net with that info, please call in now.
K5JM, comment.
Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Jerry, good to hear you out there. This is Sam, K5JM. I have a friend up there in Round Rock. His name's Tommy, WD5EMS, and they had, or have, a 6-meter linked to a 10-meter repeater at the St. David's Round Rock Hospital. I'm not sure also if those are online anymore or not. I think it took a lightning strike a year or two ago, and so I don't know. But if you look up 6-meter repeaters for Round Rock, you might see the listing there under WD5EMS. I haven't heard it in a long time, but I don't have a good 6-meter antenna here to do that. So I could probably just send them a message and see if it's still operational.
Okay, thank you very much. That answers my questions. I'll have to return it back to Ned.
Well, thank you, Sam, for bringing that information. I think I've heard of that one too a while back. Now that you mention it, but yeah, I don't think I haven't heard anybody using. I know the 10-meter repeater up in New York people use from here, but the 6-meter repeater I have not heard of one in this area. Well, very cool. Jerry, do you have you done any radio over the week? Back to you.
No, sir, I have not. I've been pretty busy this week. I've been doing a lot of listening, but I've been too busy to grab a hold of my mic. I've been busying a man with a dollar pocket watch and a 7-meter itch. If I'm not a winding, I'm a scratching. So I hope things settle down next week.
Right on, man. Jerry, are you going to Belton by any chance? Back to you.
I didn't quite get your question. Would you repeat it, please?
Sure, man. Are you planning on going to Belton to the Hamfest? Back to you.
At this point in time, I don't believe so. Of course, everything's subject to change. I would really like to go, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it up there or not. I just have to wait and see.
Right on, man. Well, hopefully you are able to make it. It's fun for sure. Jerry, I have a question for tonight, and you can just say you can pass. Do you have a favorite conspiracy theory by any chance? Back to you.
I'll have to pass on that one. I haven't thought about it much until you brought it up just a few minutes ago, and I haven't had time to think about it, but no, sir, I don't believe I have.
All right, man. It's just a silly question to keep the flow going. It's fine, man. Well, Jerry, do you have anything else for the net before we? Well, actually, let me open the floor. Does anybody have any questions or want to say something to Jerry? Please call Net Control with your name and call sign. All right, nothing heard. Jerry, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, sir, that's about it. I've just been busy, and I haven't paid much attention to my ham radios, and I really don't. But anyway, I'm enjoying it, and you're doing a fine job as the coordinator for the, and I just don't have any much more to say, so I'm going to pass it on back to you.
Hey, Jerry, and don't forget that we have the Traveling Taco Net tomorrow night on this same frequency from 7 until 9 p.m. Yours truly is going to be running that net. It's a new net that we started last month. We've run it once a month. And I am going to visit a fellow ham operator tomorrow, and we're going to be running that from his house. It's Randy, KC3NAG. All right, well, that was Jerry, KG5PKP. He called the net. And let's say, after Jerry, we have Doug, KG5UNK. Doug, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
KG5UNK. Hey, Ernesto, and everyone else. Hey, how's it going? We're doing okay over here.
Very cool, man. You done any radio this week? Back to you.
Yeah, I always try to get some FT8 in, and I did get, let's see, got a few 6 meters, and of course 20. I got a couple of European stations, 10 meters, and I'm always working the VODA, the volunteer on the air, so racking them points.
What's that volunteer on the air, man? You know that I don't know anything about this stuff. Back to you.
Yeah, sure thing. So ARRL is running a year-long contest, if you will, to contact as many volunteer on the air stations as you can. And everybody that if you're an ARRL member, you instantly are worth 1 point. If you're president of a club, or I have to look you up. If you're somebody within ARRL, then your point count goes way up, and at the end of the year they total everything up, and I guess if you place high enough, they'll offer certificates.
Very cool, man. I have no idea that was a thing, so thanks for explaining that information over to me. Duffy, are you planning on going to Belton? Back to you.
Yeah, at this point, I definitely plan on going. There's, I don't know, I don't have anything that I'm particularly looking for. Not right at this moment, but things pop up. You just never know what you'll find there.
Yeah, that's the beauty or the curse of the Hamfest. You can go over there without needing anything, and something will pop up that you will go like, yeah, I need that, and you'll be bringing stuff home. So cool, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. It's always fun, and hopefully I have a very short list of things that I'll be looking for on this one. And do you know if they have? Usually they have something else. Either a gun show or like competition. Like last time I stopped by, they have like those Purina dog competition thing going on, and that was kind of fun to watch. Do you know what's happening on this one by any chance? Back to you.
No, man, I don't. I hadn't looked actually, and I'm gonna go step back here for a second on the volunteers on the air. You're worth 5 points because you're a VE, just a heads up. So, anytime someone makes contact with you, no matter what, as long as it's logged on Logbook of the World, then those points count.
Now, do I have to also log it on that log, or it's just if the other operator logs it, do they get the 5 points? Back to you.
I'm sure it helps to validate, but so far from what I've seen, no. If I show that I've had a contact with you and I've logged it in LOTW, whether you confirm it or not, they seem to be counting them at this point. So, because not everybody logs, and not everybody logs through LOTW.
I mean, I'm one of them. I have a log on a book. I'm that old, Doug. I have a book with my logs in there. Well, it's very cool. cool. I have no idea that I was worth 5 points, so that makes me happy and excited. So next time, does that work for any other ARL contest or only for that one in particular? Back to you.
Yeah, well, this is a year long, so it started in January and it runs through December, and it's just cumulative. There are special stations out there, W1AW / a number, either 0 through 9 or 1 through 0, however you want to look at it, but those stations count as states. So every week there's a rotation of states that are calling CQ. Now, since I work mainly digital, that's where I've seen them. They're calling CQ, and it'll be W1AW / I think 7, 1, and 4 are running right now for this week of the 27th. So they run a week long.
Oh, cool. I guess I'm not going to be able to help on the digital part of the spectrum because all I have is, just analog and a bunch of mics hanging around from the shelf. nothing digital yet. It's coming. One of these days I'll get that set up. It's just I don't have a lot of real estate here in this corner. And that Cobra 2000 takes like half of the take half a block. That's a huge thing. So I need to change the setup to be able to bring a computer here and get more room. Doug, I have a question for tonight, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But do you have a favorite conspiracy theory? Back to you.
Well, I guess I'll have to go with Roswell. And our first encounter with aliens are people or creatures from not this planet. And I'll leave it there.
Funny, because I asked Mireya before starting the net, and that's the first one that she mentioned. I went with the birds unreal. That's where she went. Well, very cool. Doug, do you have any plans for the weekend? Back to you.
Well, unfortunately, I have to have my vehicle looked at because of the storm last Sunday. So I know I'm doing that some point on Saturday. Have them check it out. Other than that, no race this weekend. So I don't know. Maybe it won't be so hot outside. We can do something outside. KG5 UNK.
Oh man, sorry to hear that. Sounds like the car got some issues over there with the storm. Sorry to hear that, but yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have a couple of Foxes, so that's that's always a good thing. And I know that you do breakfast at Dan's, but if things change for you guys, you know where to find us. We get there around 8 a.m. and we last few Saturdays we've been leaving that place like around 11, so we spend quite a bit of time there. Well, very cool, Doug. Do you have, actually, let me open up the floor. We have Doug here, KG5UNK. If you want to say hi to him or have any questions for him, please call Net Control with your name and call sign.
N5LX.
Hi.
Yeah, I was going to say, hey, Doug, what do you mean no race this weekend? What about MotoGP in Japan?
Hey, Sky. Well, that counts. Tell me what channel it's on. I'll watch it.
Well, unfortunately, I can't help you there. I actually just subscribed to the MotoGP website stream. So, I don't know, maybe I'll skim the internet and see if there's a channel you can watch it on. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I enjoy it. I've watched it. And I'm searching for it on our cable right now to see what I come up with.
Anyway, I like all those motorsports, and I really was impressed when we were hanging out at Rusty's with your knowledge of F1, so maybe next time we see a race, I'll learn some more from you.
Yeah, well, you know, if the host wants to host again, I'm up for it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But we got a break here this week, and then we got. Oh man, I drew a blank on where it is. Anyway, it's we got a race in 2 weeks.
Cool, man. All right, well, have a good one, Doug, and let me know when the next F1 race is coming up, if we can, I don't know, if we can figure out some way to converge on Rusty, let him watch it over there. That was pretty awesome. This is N5LX.
All right, Sky, thank you for chiming in. We have Doug here at KG5UNK. If you would like to say hi to him or have a question for him, please call in with your name and call sign.
BBS.
Go ahead, El Oxidado.
Yeah, I love on your Fox Hunt email you put El Rusty on the email. That cracked me up. Next race is Qatar, and yeah, I'm always down to have you guys over for F1. So by all means, we'll figure it out. We got the weekend off, but yeah, man. Hey, Doug, just wanted to say hi and you know, let you know you're always welcome at the house, man.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. I definitely like hanging out during watching those races and any other time, man. Thanks.
And honestly, the next race I'm really looking forward to is going to be the night race in Vegas. So it goes Qatar, and then I think it's Austin, and then Mexico, and then Sao Paulo, and then Vegas. And then I don't think that's where I think it ends in the desert, but I could be wrong. But yeah, the Vegas race is really going to be a lot of fun, I hope.
Yeah. Can't wait, man. I really don't like having a week break there. I almost need it every weekend. That's why I record it too. That way I can go back and pick any race I want to watch and watch it again.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Since you can't record the series, I always leave the last one up as a reminder to go and record it. So yeah, the weekend off blows, but whatever. All right, well, we'll quit bugging everybody with the F1 stuff. WZ5BBS back to net control.
All right, Rusty, thank you for calling in. We got Doug here, KG5UNK. You want to say hi to him, please call net control with your name and call sign. All right, Doug, do you have anything else for the net before we move on, my friend?
No, everything's good, man. Thanks for doing it. Enjoyed the conversation with everyone. KG5UNK. I'll be listening.
All right, Doug, thanks again for checking in. It's always nice talking to you. Say hi to Trina. And don't forget that we are going to be having the Traveling Tackle Net tomorrow night from 7 till 9 p.m. All right, that was Doug, KG5UNK, and you are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N50AK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. And my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN. We were talking to Doug. Now we're going to go and check with Steve, KI5UKF. Steve, what's going on, man? How is live treating you, my friend?
Hey, Ernesto, this is KI5UKF. Thanks again for running the net. Life's doing pretty well. Got a new boss at work this week, so I'll let you know in a few weeks how life is treating me at work. But hopeful that'll be a good thing. But not a whole lot of radio stuff going on here lately. Just been too hot outside. My ham shack is outdoors, and so just now getting to where it's bearable out there to go out late afternoon or evening. So I think I'm going to try and run out there when this net's over tonight and see. I heard somebody say 40 meters had some activity, so I'm going to go out there in a little bit and check it out. Back to you, Ned.
Very cool, man. Yeah, I hope that the new boss is chill. It's a new and it's a chill person and doesn't drive you to early retirement. And on the outdoor shack, yeah, man, it's getting better. I think today and tomorrow, for what I saw on the no, I'm lost. I think the weekend, the Saturday and Sunday was the last 2 days that I saw they were going to be a little bit warm, but you know how that changes. Yeah, man, 40 meters is, I spent a lot of time on the 40-meter band, and that stays pretty active. I get there usually like around, I don't know, between 5 and 6 p.m., and the guys stay on until, you know, past midnight, and then they resume like at 5 in the morning, so it's a great band to go out and you know, sit down and just chat with people. I really enjoy the 40 meter for sure. What antenna do you have for 40 meters, Steve? Back to you.
Yeah, I've got two end-feds. One's a 65-foot half wave, and the other one's an 84-foot random. So I kind of go back and forth between them, trying to figure out which of them I like better. But yeah, they both do really well on 40 meters. You know, one of them you have to tune, the other one's already resonant. So they both do a pretty good job.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's the flavor that I have here, end-fed. I'm going to be moving to the dipole once the temperature gets a little bit lower, and we'll see. I'll be testing and see the difference between those two. But yeah, end-fed's been the antenna I've used since I got licensed. It's the same, actually the same one. I just changed the wire, but they seem to work fine, at least from here. Steve, do you have a favorite conspiracy theory by any chance? Back to you.
I get a chuckle out of the we've never been to the moon conspiracy theory. I kind of get a chuckle out of most of them, actually, because I guess I work for the government, and I just don't think the government's really smart enough to pull off a cover-up like that. And obviously, if they did it successfully, then we don't know, so I could be wrong, but, you know, Watergate, a few of those other things, they're just usually not smart enough to cover things up. I don't think that we are, and so I just think it would have been pretty tough for us to cover up the fact that we didn't go to the moon, despite to the contrary of all the other information and evidence there is of that. So I guess that would be my favorite. Back to you.
That was a fun one. I remember when I started digging into that one. They're all fun. Like, I don't know, for whatever reason, every time I find a new one, I just start laughing and dig into it, because why not? But they're definitely entertaining, to say the least. And I you know, that's why I brought it up. That obviously I don't take life too seriously, so you know, I feel like they're all fun stories, and I just, you know, have a laugh and don't take it, like I said, in any of that stuff seriously. But Steve, question for you: are you planning on going to Belton? Back to you.
I don't have a specific plan to go, but I don't have a specific plan not to go. I guess I'll have to see what as we get closer to that weekend, and maybe see who with the club's going, and maybe catch a ride with somebody. I think that would be kind of more fun than just driving out there solo. But not really sure yet. Ernesto, back to you.
Yeah, man, it definitely makes it more fun when you go with others. I've done either way, and it's definitely more fun because, you know, you're suffering because it's early in the morning, so might as well, you know, share the suffering with somebody else. And I think last time when I picked up Rusty, I had Enrique with me, and I think Rusty probably started talking like, I don't know, 10 or 15 miles into the trip. That's when he finally, his brain kind of like clicked in and started and went on gear. But definitely, man, and I think there's a lot of people from all of the clubs that go up there. Time now that I go up there, I get to see all the same guys that we see at all of the activities and breakfast and stuff. So I don't know, man. I would say, post it on Discord, and we'll definitely find people to go up there. But I'll say, if you have the chance, if you haven't done it, it's definitely a really fun experience. It's a really great ham fest, and you hear people driving from all over the place, so it must be good. That's the only one that I've been to, but I highly recommend it. So hopefully you are able to make it there, man. Planning on doing any radio in the next few days? Any like parks on the air or anything like that? I know you're interested in POTA. Back to you.
Yeah, not sure. I might go try and chase the fox this weekend. It's been been a long time since I've tried. Maybe make breakfast Saturday morning. I haven't been there yet, so I think that would be fun. And then, like I said, I might just try and go step outside tonight. And I've got my antenna up out there. I just got to pull a radio out there and check on 40 and 20 and see what's going on. Other than that, not any particular specific plans to go POTA. I've got a weekend or a Friday off, October 13th, in preparation for the annular eclipse. It's going to happen the next day on a Saturday in the morning, like 11 o'clock in the morning, October 14th. If anybody can get out west a little ways, you can see, the sun pretty much get covered up by the moon. And I thought if I could go out and do some camping, I might drag a radio out there with me to that event. Over.
Well, very cool, man. That sounds like a really awesome experience. If you do that, if you end up doing that, it would be really cool if you can share those pictures on Discord. And for those of you listening, we've been talking about breakfast and all-man breakfast and all that shenanigans. We get together every Saturday at 8 a.m. at Waterloo Ice House, and that's on 8600 Bernard Road. That's just south of 183. We get there like around 8 a.m., and we spend a few hours there hanging out. Great group of guys. And then usually after that, we go fox hunting after breakfast. So if you are interested, everybody is welcome, and you don't have to be a licensed ham to show up either. So if you're listening through on one of those online streaming services, you are invited as well to go to the ham breakfast. Well, Steve, do you have let me open up the floor. I'm not used to opening the floor. Let me open the floor. We have Steve here, KI5UKF. If you would like to say hi to him, if you have any questions for him, please call in with your name and call sign. Hi, Steve. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on, my friend?
Ernesto, I hope you and everyone listening has a great weekend, and nice talking to everybody, and nice hearing you, and I'll be listening. Back to you, Net, KI5UKF.
Thanks again for checking in. Tonight's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for helping us out tonight with the with the news. Don't forget that we have the TacoNet tomorrow from 7 till 9. And for all of you guys listening, if you are wondering what Steve is going to be listening on the side, he is going to be listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN. We were talking to Steve, KI5UKF, and now we're going to go and jump to Scott, W6FU. Scott, what's going on, man? How is life treating you?
Hey there, this is Will with 6 Fox Uniform. That's who you're calling, correct?
Yes, for whatever reason I looked you up earlier and then I saw Scott. That's the name that popped up. My apologies. Will, what's going on, man?
I've been called much worse. Good to talk to you, Ernesto. Thank you for running the net. My name's Will, Whiskey 6 Foxtrot Uniform. Kind of half joke that this is my bi-yearly net check-in. I'm around, but I haven't been getting on the radio much lately. Doing a lot of work on the property over here. A lot of good stuff's been going on recently. I lost my dipole in the last freeze and just haven't touched it since then. But went and got a new antenna this week and got a 6-band hex beam. It's kind of temporarily up, but I threw it up this week and finally got it turned on today. And first contact was 5-9 plus 10 to Quebec, which, wow, my dipole would have never done that, so that's pretty cool. So back on the air, 20 meters in all the way through 6, so that's pretty cool. What else is going on? Might try to fish out my dipole at some point to get back on the CW net. This XB will not do that. Let me drop real quick. Heard there's a VE test on the 21st. I could try to be there. I got my W5YI card from the club. Then I've got a, I don't know, me just don't get along, but I was planning on being at the last one, and then I didn't see Discord for a month or two and missed it. But volunteering at the Dripping Springs Haunted House at Ranch Park this year, and I'll be volunteering on that day in the evening on the 21st. So I'll see if I can, talk on Discord with the VE group and see if I can work out VEing on that day if VEs are still required. I guess speaking of the haunted house, if anybody at the club likes to volunteer, running around with chainsaws or scaring little kids, there's volunteers are always welcome over there. You can hit me up on Discord, W6FU, and I can get you in touch with people if you're in the Dripping Springs area. And yeah, I think that's pretty much summarizes what's been going on. I'll give it back to you, Ernesto. This is Will, Whiskey 6 Foxtrot Uniform.
Cool, Will. That sounds really interesting. I'm going to ask you in a second about that. Very cool on the 20 meters contact. That's very nice. Quebec, that's neat. On the CW, you've been doing CW for a while? Back to you.
Well, I think I was one of the originals that started the CW net for N50AK with Pat and gang. We were doing it for a while, and then life happened, and I got away from radio for a little bit. They're still going strong, which is great. I would like to say I'm better than I am. I've been doing it for a little while, but I haven't been doing it all that much in a while, if that makes sense. So I could probably, do about 10 words per minute if I put my hat on. So I think, having an antenna again, I'm gonna get some more use. So hopefully we can get that speed up a little bit.
Cool, man. Are you able to head copy or do you write it down? I'm learning. That's what CW. That's what I'm asking.
So it depends, I suppose. So on the N50AK nets, I don't usually write anything down. I will a little bit. Pat likes to throw some weird things out there, and usually with the CW contact, you can predict what's happening, and you only really need to write down name, QTH, and call sign. But the rest of the script is predicted. But Pat's always coming up with something, and you don't know what he's going to say. So it's fun to write it down and try to figure out, what's happening on the net.
Oh, very cool, man. Yeah, I've been trying to learn now close to a year now. I could key slowly, maybe 10 to 12 words a minute. Maybe I could do the keying out, but here I'm still having issues copying. I was trying to. My goal is to get to head copy that, but it's a very slow process. The way I'm doing it, so I think I'm gonna start writing things down because it's every once in a while it gets kind of frustrating. You sit down there and you're like, oh, I can understand things here and there, but I cannot. It doesn't make sense still. Like it's just one word here, one word there, and a number here, a number there, but there's still a lot of stuff missing. So I need to probably get into writing down so that at some point winning out of writing it down. Is that how you started, or you started it doing head copy from the beginning? Back to you, Will.
I tried to write everything down that I could. You know, if you want to get a little bit better at it, when in your spare time, go to the POTA activation page and look up who's spotting themselves on CW. Those contacts are really short. You know, they just want your name and call sign and QTH, and that's it. And it's a real scripted and predictable and repeatable, you know, QSO. And you know, if you start doing those, the only way to learn CW is through brute force, and it's by using it over and over and over again. There's no amount of learning or reading or anything that's going to get you there. The only way to do it is to do it. But writing stuff down is fine for a while, but once you get over a certain speed, it's hard to write things down, in my opinion. I'm not the smartest person on the block, though.
Oh man, that's really good information. I didn't think about that in the POTA guys, and that makes total sense. Those are usually short QSOs, so I am going to be looking into that. Thank you for sharing that. That's I think that will make a difference. Then I can just go in and practice because they're always out there. That's a really great tip there, man. On the haunted house. So the day you show up over there, they dress you up, and you're good to go, and you can just go around and you know, scare the living heck out of people. Back to you.
Ranch Park, the last 2 weekends of October, not counting Halloween. I think Halloween's going to be during the week, but the last couple of weekends in October, they put on a haunted house. Aaron, a friend of mine, puts it on. I'm part of the Jeep Club out here in Dripping Springs, and we do the hay rides. So we get all our lifted Jeeps out there with trailers and put hay on them. And you know, basically people will buy tickets, stand in the line. We'll take them on a hay ride through the fields. Everybody will scare them and stuff, and then we'll drop them off at the haunted house. They'll do the haunted house and then get back on the trailer through another section and come back. But the haunted house itself, you know, needs people out in the fields to go scare people, to, you know, run around, you know, without hands or heads or whatever, that kind of stuff. But it's a planned out process, so if you show up, they're not just going to throw you out there with the chainsaw. But if anybody is interested in volunteering, you know, hit me up, and you know, if you want to drive hay rides, that's cool. Or if you want to, you know, work inside the haunted house, it's not a paying gig or anything. It's just a volunteer. It's fun, but yeah, fun stuff.
Dude, that's really awesome. I could totally see Rusty out there scaring people away with all that kind of shenanigans. Give him a machete or something. He'll get started. Well, let's open up the floor, man. We have Will here, W6FU. If you would like to say hi to him, have any questions, or just, you know, like I said, want to say hi, please call in with your name and call sign. Like somebody's trying to get in, but all I hear is just you know, here's the repeater. I want to try again. Oh, maybe not. Well, Will, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
I think the only other thing I have is favorite conspiracy theory. I guess to be radio related, it's got to be 5G. There's some real reasons to be concerned with it, you know, because of China and airline equipment and stuff. But wow, the reason people are you know, running with it are pretty hilarious. It's a non-ionizing band, so shouldn't be causing cancers and, you know, taking over people's brains. But here we are. Anyway, that's all I've got. Thanks for running the net, Ernesto, and hello to everybody on the N508K repeater. This is Will, Whiskey 6, Foxtrot uniform, handing it back to net control.
Oh, Will, I forgot about that 5G stuff. It's hilarious. I know they're all funny for whatever reason. They all make me laugh. All right, well, that was Will, W6FU, and let's see, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, callsign M50AK. And we're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, K-I-5-P-Z-N. We were talking to Will. We're going to go now and check Charles, WB5HVC. Charles, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Axel, I go by Rick, Romeo, India, Charlie, Kilo. Things are going well. I'm up here from North Texas and loaded some frequencies in my HT before I came down, and I noticed the net tonight, so I thought I'd jump on.
Well, Rick, welcome to Austin and welcome to the Thursday Night Net. We're really happy to have you here. Are you spending the week here, or are you coming here just for one day? Back to you, Rick.
Yeah, I've got a thing with the state tomorrow, and then something else on Saturday. Heading back Saturday, so I'm here for 2 nights. I'm going to try to catch the net tomorrow night. You know, keep me out of bars, make my wife happy, those types of things.
Yes, sir, and it's a lot cheaper to listen to the net than going to a bar. Now, if you are a early riser, we get together for breakfast at Waterloo Ice House here on Burnett Road, 8600 Burnett Road, at 8 a.m. for like 2 or 3 hours. In case that's something that you can make, it's usually between 20 and 35 hands that would get together every Saturday, and it's been happening since the 70s, so it'll be cool if you can make it, but if not, I totally understand. Rick, do you have a favorite conspiracy theory by any chance? Back to you.
You know, I'm staying at the Arboretum. I looked it up online. It's about 8 minutes away, I guess, from the Ice House, so I thought I was going to try to make it. I looked at the agenda tomorrow. It starts at 8:30. Registration is 7:30, and looks like a pretty crappy breakfast over there, so I probably won't be able to make it tomorrow, but I know you're here if I ever come back into town. And I guess the only conspiracy theory is, you know, people talking about there's no Santa Claus, that it's the parents who give presents. Never bought into that one, but that's probably my favorite.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. Well, the breakfast is on Saturday, by the way, just in case. On the Santa Claus, yeah, man. I think it starts at the beginning of December or right after Thanksgiving, but if you tune in to the frequency 3916 on 80 meters, 3.916, they bring Santa Claus every day of the week for that time. I think it's right after Thanksgiving until December through Christmas, and you can obviously bring all the kids and have third party them talking to Santa Claus. So it does exist, and it comes out on 3916 after Thanksgiving. So that's something to keep an eye on for all of you kids, or if you believe in Santa Claus, you get to talk to him. He's a ham radio operator as well. Rick, are you planning to going to the Belton Ham Fest by any chance? Back to you.
No, I was considering the Parker County Ham Fest. It's in Springtown, which is a little bit closer to home for me than Belton, but I still don't know. I got to find a buddy to go with me. I just don't like going over there and feeling around too much on my own. So, you know, speaking of 3916, I did write that down. I passed my general ticket on Sunday, so I'm brand new general as of Sunday, and then got my NSTED put up this week. But obviously, I am in Austin this weekend, so I haven't got to play any.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's a big deal. Congratulations on getting your general ticket. If you live in Texas, then 3916 will probably keep you entertained. They start at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock with a net. They have like 3 nets back to back, 7 days a week, all year round. And they start a net like around, I think it's at 8 o'clock, and I forgot, I think it's called the Freewheelers, or I might have this backwards. And then at 9 p.m., they have a trivia net, and it's, again, every night. And then after the trivia net, which ends at 10, they have another net, and they're really, really friendly, and everybody's welcome. And since you live up there, you should be able to hit the net because they are transmitting from somewhere near Fort Worth. So keep an eye on the frequency. It's a fun one, and again, in the fun there starts like around 8 p.m. every single day. So keep that one around because you should. It should keep you entertained. And are you planning on doing POTA activations and all that shenanigans? Back to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got some portable rigs and things like that. I'm kind of in the middle of two ham clubs. I'm part of the Denton County Ham Club and the Grayson County Ham Club. I'm actually closer to Denton than I am to Sherman. So Sherman's in my county, and so when I couldn't make those events, I signed up for the Denton County, been able to make those a little bit more. So I know POTA, there's a lake right by me, and so there's POTA there. There's actually two in Grayson County, POTA Park, and it's something I'm looking into. I have some portable gear, so I'm going to try it out. We'll see.
Well, very cool, man. Yeah, it's exciting. Once you get that general, I mean, everything changes. You get the access to all the frequencies, and you get to talk to the entire world on your radio. So that's super cool. And something to keep in mind in case you travel to Austin often. Our club is free to join. You can join this club for free. You can go to n50ak.org and become a member because we have all kinds of stuff happening. We do winter field days. We're going to have a potluck in November around here as well. It's always really fun, and we do get-togethers, all kinds of stuff. So we stay pretty busy, and we have over 500 members in this club, and there's three clubs in Austin. We all get together, and it's a very, very active and friendly community. So if you are visiting Austin often, I would say you should join the Oklahoma Radio Club. It's for free, and if you join the Discord, you can keep in touch with everything that is going on in this area, just in case you are in this area often. It's definitely a very, very active community. You have any plans on when are you planning on setting up the HF rig? Back to you.
Well, yeah, I put the NFED up last weekend. So I did that on Saturday ahead of the exam, just knowing I was going to pass. So I got the NFED up on Saturday, and then I bought a Yaesu rig this week. So I have it. It's at home. I've unboxed it and kind of plugged it in, but I haven't tuned it or had any chance to play with it as of yet. So hopefully Sunday I'll get a little time Sunday afternoon to power it up and make sure everything's talking real good.
Well, very cool, man. What type of radio do you get? What kind?
So I got the new 710, so it's kind of all over the map with what to get. And HRO is there in Plano. I work in Dallas, so they were pretty convenient. So I kind of walked in there, kicked the tires on a few of them, and just opted for that one, knowing I could probably get more bells and whistles later.
Oh, very cool, man. Yeah, that's a really nice radio. You should be able to have a great time on HF, and you'll as you browse through, go through the surf the frequencies, as I call it, you'll find your favorite spots on those frequencies. Very cool, man. I'm really happy to hear that you got your general and you getting ready to get your HF radio up and getting into the fun. Let me open up the floor. We have Rick here, WB5HVC. If you would like to say hi to him, if you have a question for him, please call Net Control with your name and call sign. Well, nothing here. Rick, I didn't ask you, do you have a favorite conspiracy theory by any chance?
Well, I brought the one about Santa Claus. I could maybe bring in the Easter Bunny.
Man, I'm getting all this funny. I'm writing it down, and I missed that. I'm not kidding when I said that I sneeze and half of my information just goes away, and I have to wait till I reboot. All right, well, Rick, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, not at all. I appreciate you being here and allowing us strangers in. Just enjoy listening to it. I enjoyed the news as well, our nets aren't as happening as this one. So I'm taking some pointers back and going back to my club and maybe throwing that out. But you had the old guy breakfast. We planned up this really old guy breakfast. We got some oldies and goodies up there.
Man, we're not kidding. I mean, I'm the president of the Austin Amateur Radio Club, and when I started there, I sent a survey out, and one of the questions was, how long have you been a member of the Austin Amateur Radio Club? And I have people who send me back answers that they were members for over 60 years. So I have what's left of my hair is all gray at this point, like, it's all white hair. But I'm still a kid next to some of those guys. So no, it's a fun group, man, and it's a really, really fun group to hang out with. And I was gonna say, if you like this net and you would like to check in while you are back home, you can always check in using Echolink. You can connect to N5OAK-R or KA5D-R, or if you have All-Star, you can connect using the node 51444. Rick, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, not at all. I appreciate it. W5HCC, back to the net.
All right, man. Hope you have an awesome and rest of the week and a weekend as well, and we will love to hear you again on this set. All right, that was Rick, WB5HVC. Now we're going to go and check with Mr. Blake, KI5ZTW. Blake, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you? Did I lose Blake? KI5ZTW from KI5PZN on the net. Blake, are you around? Well, I guess Blake went to sleep. Let's move on, and we'll check with him later, see if he's still around. Well, next was Rick, AI5JT. Rick, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
Hey, Ernesto, AI5JT. Let's see, preemptive answers for conspiracy theory. The movie Men in Black, that was a documentary. And yes, I am going to Belton.
That was very efficient, my friend. Well, I'll tell you what, because you have those already and ready to rock and roll, I'm going to throw another question at you so that you are not ready. If you have to classify, this is a super silly question. If you have to classify in you have only these two options. You have a hot dog and you have to classify between either a sandwich or a taco. Which area will you put it? You think it's a sandwich or a taco? Back to you.
That's an interesting question. I'm going to go with sandwich because just a taco bun just doesn't seem like a tortilla to me.
Well, I guess the physics of it's kind of like a taco as well. So I don't know, man. We'll have to send a survey out one of these days. Rick, I was going to ask you, have you been doing any HF lately? Back to you.
I've got 0 HF going on over here. Everything is 2 meters and up at this point.
All right, man. Right on. I have no idea. I thought you got the HF is over there, but very cool. Are you planning on getting HF, or do you live in a place that it will be too noisy for you? I wonder. Back to you.
I've got an insane amount of stuff to play with on a little bit on 900 megahertz, and then also 70 centimeters and in 2 meters, including some dead repeaters I'm trying to bring back to life. And I'm not just talking about the Yaesu models. I've got some vintage GE Master 2 sitting in the garage. So I've got plenty of stuff to play with at this point. So it'll probably be a while before I feel like I've got the time to actually branch out and go down to stuff. Like I don't even have anything for 6 meters for that matter. Like to get down below 30 megahertz, that'll be a while off.
No, I know. I mean, it's one of those things that we can spend a lot of time. There's so many things to do on this hobby. 6 meters, I wouldn't spend too much time on that one. It's funny. That was one of the first antennas that I got when I first got licensed, my 6 meter, and I think in 2 years I had a handful of contacts in 6 meters. It's just, I know it's an awesome band, and it opens, and when it opens, you get to talk to the Martians out there, but it's one finicky one, man. The timing never seems to work with me. I need to get some sort of some sort of app or something that let me know when 6 meters open. But it's one of those things. Are you going to breakfast on Saturday?
I'm going to pull a Rusty and say it depends whether I get up in time or not. And I don't know if my daughter will be able to get up with me as well. We're definitely going to Belton, though, and hope to make the breakfast over there that they have early Saturday morning.
Man, you are hardcore. Yeah, I have not been able to make that one because if you guys think 8 a.m. is early, that one is like at 6 in the morning or something like that. And I get up early, but it usually takes me about an hour before my brain warms up. I'm like a really old radio. They have an old tube radio. You have to turn it on and wait until it warms up. That's what's going on this side of the spectrum. Well, we have Rick here on the net, AI5JT. Let's open up the floor if you would like to say hi to Rick, or if you have any questions for him, please call Net Control with your name and call sign. Well, Mr. Rick, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
Oh, just one small story. I'm building a very weird cable. It's got a 26-pin connector on one end, and on and it fans out to 3 other connectors: a 2-pin connector for a speaker, a 9-pin connector DB9 for a serial connection, and then a 4-pin connection for USB. And there might be some more at some point when I'm done.
What are you building that for? Sounds like you are building a spaceship or something. Back to you.
Look on the accessory port of a Motorola mobile, and then you can program it either through the USB connection or the serial connection, and then of course the speaker attaches on there through that same port as well. So I'm up to my elbows in Motorola gear right now.
Well, very cool, man. Well, it would be really nice if you could post a picture of that cable that you're talking about there, because my brain just went all over the place with that, trying to get an image of what's happening there on Discord. That would be really neat to see it. I'm just a curious creature, so I like to, even though half of this stuff I don't understand, that I still go for it and try and give it a shot and try to. Well, Rick, do you have anything else for the net before we move on, my friend?
I know that's it for me. I'll be here listening to see what else the other folks have to say as you go down the list. AI5JT. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Thanks for checking in. Always a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have an awesome week as well. We'll be talking for sure. That was Rick, AI5JT. And now we're going to go and check in with the guy who's helping me host the TacoNet tomorrow night. That's Randy, KC3NAG. Randy, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
This is Randy, KC3NAG. What's this about a taco night? Like you're having tacos at my place? I don't understand.
Dude, I'll show up there like a homeless person. If you're not expecting me, I'll still show up there and sit at your shack.
Well, hey man, I lived in Philadelphia, like right downtown for like 13 years. I had a lot of homeless friends as friends, and yeah, it's a very interesting way to live. Yeah, I mean, you know, until you like really sit down and talk to these people, you really don't know. It's very interesting, and a lot of them are actually workers, and some of them were IT guys. Yeah. So anyway, we're talking like 7 till 9, something like that, man.
Yes, sir. I'll show up there a little bit earlier. I'll shoot you an email to, I think I probably sent you one already. I just need to look my note. But I'll show up there so that we have enough time to eat them tacos before we get started on the net, man. I'm looking forward to it. I know you have a very interesting shack, and I know people are going to enjoy it too. Back to you.
Well, I think you're over here like maybe 6 months ago or something. I don't know, a while ago. And I've kept everything in place. I haven't moved a single thing around. So, you know, I want you to like, you know, walk in and be comfortable, you know? Like, yeah, the place is a mess, man.
Oh, dude, you have a really cool place. You should be where you should see what I'm sitting right now. I have a tiny corner of the house, and it's packed with radios and junk. So, no, that's a lot roomier than what I'm dealing with here. So I am looking forward to, man. Plus, you know, you got some interesting stories as well. Randy, I was going to ask you, do you have a favorite conspiracy theory by any chance? Back to you.
Well, you know, I thought about that when you brought that up. And, I don't know, it's kind of like maybe tangential, but, you know, when I was married to my second wife, I told all my friends she was crazy, okay? I mean, she was not what she appears to be. And, you know, they all thought I was crazy, okay? Well, after I got divorced, that was the end of the conspiracy theory. It had been proven out.
Well, man, I am happy that you got out of that one alive and with all your limbs, because you never know. You know, I've heard stories of craziness like that on the news. Like heck, even Johnny Depp have to deal with some obscure stuff over there, and he's a famous dude. It's part of being alive, Randy. I guess we all have to deal with crazy people. I guess people have to deal with me. I'm the crazy one here. So I'm on that side of the spectrum. You done any radio, any HF lately? Randy, back to you.
To answer your last, yeah, I mean, you know, crazy knows crazy, man. I mean, that's why I like you. Come on. I mean, you're a super fun guy. And I know I wasn't being mean to women per se. I am not that kind of guy, okay? But couldn't think of anything else. However, I was looking at my next door neighbor's house the other night, and there was like this bizarre red kind of like orb flashing around, but I couldn't tell if it was outside his window, and I was too scared to go look through my fence. But, you know, if y'all ever see that Skinwalker Ranch show, I I don't know, there's some like very compelling evidence going on there. And not only there, but around the world. So, you know, I'm a very open-minded man. Very, very open. And I'm also a man of facts, but I'm very open-minded. So, let me let it drop. And back to the subject at hand. Radio? No. 40 meters. You know, I don't get on until like 10 o'clock. Yeah, the same little chit-chat, 1,000-watt dudes. And Ben's been pretty trashy for me. So, back to you, man.
Yeah, right on. I know you have a different shift than I do. You get up a little bit later. But I guess with me, I just don't sleep a whole lot. I go to bed like past midnight, and then I'm up like before 6 in the morning. But it's been fun. In 20 meters, man. I'm sure you checked too, but 20 meters been open until really late, and you get Europe and everybody and their mom is out there, so it's been fun for sure. It's been fun for sure. I know you have. Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm not gonna bring all that stuff now because we have all that juiciness for mañana. But well, very cool, man. Do you have any plans for the weekend aside from the awesome traveling taconet? Back to you, Randy.
Well, I was thinking maybe a little sleep would be good. And yeah, you did send me an email. I did reply to you earlier this week. And quite frankly, I'm going to have to get up early, probably 5 o'clock in the afternoon to, just sweep the driveway out a little bit and just wait for you all to show up, man.
Man, I appreciate you doing that, but you don't have to do anything for me to show up because you've seen my truck. If anything, I'm gonna dirty up your street when I park my truck there because it's a mess. But no, dude, I'm really looking forward to hanging out tomorrow at your place and running the net. Well, let me open up the floor here. We have Randy here on the net, KC3NAG. If you would like to say hi to him, or if you have a question for Randy, please call Net Control with your name and call sign.
And 5LX.
5, okay.
I heard Sky first, and then Doug takes it after that. But Sky, go first.
Yes, sir. You guys have probably heard this before, but I was going to tell Randy, don't be so open-minded that your brains fall out.
Well, thank you very much, Sky, for that observation. But, hey, I had a question for you too, man. Was there not, a comet, a couple weeks ago that flew over? I saw something very brilliant in the sky.
Yeah, I missed it, unfortunately. It was Comet Nishimura, I think. I think there was another one before that even, but I don't know if that's the one. I think that's the one that you could see with the naked eye, and I missed it. I totally missed it. But I joined the Austin Astronomical Society, and hopefully they send out notices for stuff like that. You get on their email list, so hopefully I won't miss the next one.
Yeah, Roger Dodger. Yeah, it was the Noogie Goosey whatever thing. I saw it. It was brilliant. I don't want to tie the knot up any longer here, so back to Net Control.
Thank you, Sky, for your comment. Doug, go for it.
Well, I don't have anything quite like Sky. I was just here to say, hi, Randy, KG5UNK.
Hey, Doug. And I think I have you confused with another Doug. I sent you an email one night, but I got looking, it's like, I don't know.
Well, I don't recall seeing any email from you, so my call sign at ARRL.net.
Yeah, man. So everything worked out then. No worries. KC3 Energy, back to Net Control.
Hi, Doug. Thanks for calling in as well. We have Randy here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, if you have a question for Randy, please call in with your name and call sign.
AI5JT, Rick.
Go ahead, Rick.
Randy, have you, in the past, have you ever served as net control?
Well, the answer to that is yes, but it was very bizarre. I did backup for Monday Night New Hamsnet for like a year and a quarter, but I was flip-flopping from Philadelphia down here to Austin, keeping an eye on my mom. So I was doing Echolink one night, and, you know, somebody was talking to me, and we'd only had a few check-ins, and they returned it, like, back to me, and I just took over the net. Just went down, started going down through the list, which was totally cool, till I get down so far, and, of course, the net control dude, who's a friend of mine, he's like, yo, you just skipped 4 of them. I'm like, I'm not even supposed to be doing this, man. He goes, just go. So I accidentally ran the net from the local net here, from Philadelphia on Echolink. So and that's not the only weird net experience I've had, like on 40 meters. So back to you, man.
Thanks, Randy. Excellent story. I guess a month or so back, kind of like this, I popped in when you were on the net just to say hi, and you had said you were in a grumpy mood at the time, and so Grumpy Man, I think you said something like blah, and so right back at you. We love the stuff you do on the net, so thank you very much. AI5G, back to Randy in the net.
I don't recall talking to you, but maybe I sent a message to you sometime. Whatever. Sincerely, no meanness or my apologies.
No, Randy. It was all in good humor. So no, it was very appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, totally cool. If there's one thing I hate to be misunderstood. I also hate to be stood up, but other than that, I'm a man of patience, so no worries. KC3NJ, back to net.
Well, right on, man. I mean, unless I get, something really bad happening to me tomorrow, you should not be being stood up. Plus, I want to eat those tacos, so for sure, man. It's funny. That's a really funny story, Randy, about having to run a net that you weren't even signing up to run. I don't know, it would be totally crazy for me to jump in the middle of something and try to take over, because even with, I usually sit down before the net and get all my stuff around me, and it's usually I deal with paper because I'm an old man. And I still mess up, you heard me messing up names and call sign left and right. Thank goodness this is amateur radio and we're not going to get fired for making mistakes on the air. Randy, do you have anything else for the net before we move on, my friend?
Yeah, stay calm, take lots of chances, and I'm waiting for some tacos. And I do have another interesting net control story, but let's save that for tomorrow. KT3NG. Yeah, see you soon, man.
All right, Randy. It's always a pleasure hearing you, man. You always crack me up. That was Randy, KC3NAG, and you were listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, brought to you by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N50AK, and by awesome hams like you. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and my name is Ernesto, KI5PZN. Let me go check real quick with Blake, because we called him earlier and we couldn't get a hold of him, and I wonder if he's still around. Blake, are you around? KI5ZTW. Oh, I guess Blake went to sleep. All right, well, let's go and check with Sky N5LX. Sky, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
This is N5LX. Yeah, they have a good week, thanks for asking. I put the 87-inch whip on the car today and made a few 20-meter contacts, mobile. Talked to a really enthusiastic guy in Santiago, Chile. I really enjoyed that. It was kind of funny. I think you already warned me about this, but I must have hit the tip of that antenna like 30 times on trees. And I mean, they were pretty high too. I mean, it was on pretty busy roads, and even where you could tell they trimmed the trees regularly, but that antenna is high. I mean, you put it on top of the car, and it's way up there. It was kind of funny. But anyway, I've been juggling a bunch of electronics projects. One of my Fox transmitters was broken from the last time, so I repaired that. Let's see what else. I'm going to reset. My latest project idea is just an idea. I mean, it's real simple. But I was talking to Mike on Southside Simplex the other day, and we both kind of had the same idea. I'm sure it's occurred to a lot of people. It'd be kind of nice to combine the loudspeaker level output of, say, like 2 or 3 mobile rigs for your Go box, so that you can just drive a single speaker. Because what happens is your speakers are like, if you put them in one of those portable equipment racks, the speakers are like aimed into the top or into another radio or something, and you can still hear it, but it's not as good as like if you had a forward-facing speaker. So I was thinking of building a little resistor summing network and maybe putting some DC blocking capacitors in there, and then maybe tack one of those little Class D audio amplifiers on the end. I'm going to reset again. So always got some kind of electronic thing rolling around in my head. My favorite conspiracy theory, you always have good topics like that. I mean, I gotta say, I don't know if it's really a conspiracy, it's probably just folklore at this point, but I think the current trend, for popular folklore has gotta be aliens. And I'd say that one of my all-time favorite iterations of that is the idea that there's like intelligent alien life that's already here, but they're like disguised as humans and occupying, say, like a wide range of positions in government and maybe in high places and wielding influence and authority. And maybe even the possibility that the Earth is like a zoo where there's like alien anthropologists studying us or tourists that maybe come to observe for amusement or whatever, to watch our like unwittingly self-destructive behavior. I'm going to reset again. But on that note, there's actually a really kind of a cool cult movie that came out in 1988 by John Carpenter. It featured a similar kind of folklore storyline. It was actually a metaphor for the kind of political dichotomy of Western countries. But it was called They Live, and if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I really got a kick out of it. It's the same thing where the aliens are like living among us, but they're in disguise. I think Will mentioned the Halloween, and I was thinking, what would aliens think of like Halloween and haunted houses and stuff like that, or what would they think of any of all the stuff that we do? Also, I liked Rick's weird cable. But anyway, hi to everybody out there, and I've enjoyed listening to everyone. So anyway, this is N5LX. Back to you.
Well, very cool, Sky. Yeah, that 87-inch whip. I have obviously I have a pretty long antenna. I don't know how long is that whip that I have, but if you measure it from the ground, it's 12 feet high. I mean, it's way up there, and my truck is starting to look like a bump car. That antenna is all like super bended on the tip. It looks kind of funny, but it seems to be working fine. It's really cool that you got to talk to Chile. Did you get them telling you like again when you were calling them back to you?
No, I mean, the guy, you could tell, he had an accent, but his English was amazing, like yours. It's like I only speak one language. I'm always very much impressed with people who are bilingual or multilingual, but he just seemed to have like a really positive vibe and having a lot of fun, and so that's kind of part of what made the contact cool. Plus it was Santiago, Chile, so yeah, I got a kick out of that. I heard some people, I think Mike earlier said he made a contact on 10 meters, and I'm trying to remember, it was some island in the Caribbean, maybe? But yeah, I think by the time I got on 10 meters, it was already kind of dying down. But anyway, back to you.
Very cool. Yeah, I always get a kick out of them because, I guess they're in a hurry. It's usually during contests that they don't hear well. They start saying again super quickly, and it cracks me up every single time. Again. Dude, on the Aliens Disguise, I remember when I was younger, people used to talk about the Lizard Man, and they were, I think there was a TV show on that one too. I think it was called when I was younger. But yeah, there's all kinds of flavors of those type of stories. You never know. I don't know. And your comment about what they would think about us during Halloween. They're probably already, shocked at looking at us like this. Those knuckleheads are always either killing each other or scaring each other and running away from each other. So I don't know, man. I'm sure that, I'm sure they look at us like if they're out there, they probably just make fun of us because we're just killing each other here. Which is kind of sad more than anything. But I don't know. I guess the other. Martian, the other, it's not a Martian, alien, it was the, I don't know if you remember, well, you will remember that, my favorite Martian. That's the one that I remember too, but I'm sure they're not going to be like that if that is the case. Sky, are you thinking about going to Belton? Back to you.
Yeah, I'm planning on it. Hopefully it will work out. Haven't gone before. I was just going to say, my mom used to call me a knucklehead all the time, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, I think, reflecting on the popular folklore surrounding, intelligent alien life and flying saucers and all that stuff, I mean, I'm sure it's occurred to a lot of people. I mean, wouldn't it be funny if in the context of all this folklore and fake pictures and then the people in government coming out and saying that it's true but not providing any evidence, it's just, to me, the whole thing is like a circus. So it would be interesting if it got resolved somehow definitively in my lifetime, but I don't expect anything.
Well, at some point it will come out. Weed became legal, so if that became legal, so that is going to be a normal thing at some point. So it's just a matter of time, and I'm sure we'll get to see that because it's already, it's more like an accepted thing now that we hear them on the main media talking about that. So I don't know, man. It's happening. It's one of those things. In my opinion, it's happening, and I don't know. We'll see what unless the government is doing this to keep us distracted to do something else. But we're not going to talk about that right now because we're having fun here. All right, we got Sky here on the net, N5LX. If you would like to say hi to him, or if you have a question for Sky, please call in with your name and call sign.
Rick, AI5JT. Yeah, I got a similar problem with multiple mobiles in the car and multiple speakers, so being able to consolidate the audio would be nice. If you were to use some summing resistors, it's going to drop the audio level on each individual radio quite a bit. I'm not sure how well that's going to work out. Would be using like a transformer or a set of transformers. Ideally, just like one transformer with multiple primaries and a matching secondary. Would that be viable?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Rick. There's a bunch of ways you could do it. You could find a fancy transformer to combine the signals. I think the way that I envision doing it is just a real simple way that I know how to do it because I've done it before. I'm not sure if I honestly don't know off the top of my head if a transformer would be even viable. Is there a transformer available that would do it? Where you could combine them without losing a lot of power. What I had envisioned was basically using a voltage divider, where you drop the voltage for each one and sum them at the same time, and then you downstream you put an amplifier on it. But I don't know. I mean, your idea might work. I'm not familiar enough with that kind of stuff to know whether it's a viable option.
Oh yeah, if you're just using a mixer now, I thought this was like speaker voltage level signals coming out of the radios, and you're just ganging all the speaker wire together before running it through the speaker. That was the impression I got. The speaker the wiring for the speakers on the radios that I have, they're differential, and so you can have there's not like a common mode, it's not like a common ground, and so one wire could go positive and the other negative for part of the sine wave, and then flip the other direction for the other part of the sine wave.
Yeah, if that's the case, it might actually make sense to use a cheap little transformer on the output of each one, and then go into your resistor summing network. I suppose you could just use DC blocking capacitors to, prevent any kind of a weird bias issue. But I don't know. That's an interesting point that you brought up. I haven't really looked into that aspect of it, but I'd be willing to bet that a simple resistor summing network would work if it's a voltage divider and you have a high enough value to give you some pretty good isolation.
This is like, meant to drive 600 ohms and not like an 8 ohm or 3.2 ohm speakers. And yeah, you're basically building a mixer board at that point.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, audio is not like RF. I mean, it's not real, impedance is not like real critical. If your impedance is too high, then you start to have issues. And if it's too low, well, if you're trying to drive a load that's got like a really low impedance, then you might have some issues. But it's not like super sensitive like with an RF transmitter. But anyway, yeah, that's cool. I'll let everybody know how it turns out. This is N5LX.
Thank you, Rick, for that comment. And Sky, I'm kind of curious. Once you get that project finalized, I would like to see what you did, because thinking about bringing another radio on my truck. And I do have an external speaker for that. So I am interested. So whenever you get that going on, if you don't mind posting on Discord, that will be a lot cooler. All right, guys, we have Sky here on the net, N5LX. If you would like to say hi to him, if you have questions for him, please call in with your name and call sign.
KC3 NAG.
Go ahead, Randy.
Hey, Sky, just a quick Aliens Among Us comment. I've always been suspicious of Rusty. Like, when you hear him on the radio, he's like one person. When you meet him in the real world, he just stares off into space.
Yeah, and he has a lot of antennas.
Yeah, kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
I think we'll just leave it there. This is N5LX. Back to you. At control.
All right. Well, thank you, Randy, for the comment. And Sky, it's funny, I'm eating my Toblerone right now. Sorry guys, I got the munchies here. Well, we got Sky here on the net. If you want to say hi to him or have a question, please call in with your name and call time.
KG5 UNK.
Go ahead, Doug.
I found Sky set to record for Sunday. Thanks. Japan track. See ya. KG5 UNK.
Awesome.
All right, Sky, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
Just one more, since I'm a little bit of a nerd, I have to tack this comment on the end. I was just thinking about the differential amplifier comment. I'll have to see if I can find a schematic for my radios, but if it's a true differential output, it could be an issue if you tie the grounds to all those radios together. So I'll have to think about that. Maybe you'd have to connect the grounds through a resistor network as well. Anyway, enjoying the net and listening to everybody. This is N5LX.
Alright, well, for those of you listening, if you don't know, you don't understand what Sky is talking about, don't feel bad. I have no idea what they're talking about, so, they know. They know, and they're the one who needs to know that. Well, Sky, thank you so much for checking into tonight's net. I hope we get to see you on Saturday, and hope to hear you tomorrow checking into the Traveling Taco Net, my friend. I hope you have an awesome weekend too, and hopefully we get to hang out during the weekend as well. Alright, well that was Sky N5LX, and yes, this is KI5PZN continuing with the OVO Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, and we're going to go now and check with Bradley, KE0YRX. Brad, are you still around?
Yeah, I'm still here. Thanks for getting back to me. Really enjoying the net here. I was just kind of getting ready for going camping this weekend, so listening into the net while I'm packing up and stuff. I want to try to get out pretty early in the morning here, but yeah, like I said, really enjoying the net, and I appreciate you running the net here. But yeah, I'll send it back over to you.
Cool, man. Thank you for checking in, and welcome to the club. I know you're a new member to the club, and it's really cool that you're calling in all the way from St. Paul. Where are you going camping, and are you taking radios with you? Back to you.
Yeah, I am going camping. Probably it's South Central Minnesota. It's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours from where I am. Yeah, I'm planning on bringing. I have my mobile rig set up in my camper. That's just a 2-meter, 70-centimeter unit, Yaesu. Bringing that, and then I think I'm going to bring my Altar node and see how that works over VPN, and see if I can't get on that while I'm out too. So yeah.
Oh, very cool, man. That sounds fun. Camping and playing with radios are definitely, they go together. Is there any fishing by any chance? Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota's, we got millions of lakes here. I don't fish personally, but I do kayak and stuff, so I like to get on the lake, and there is actually a really big lake where I'm going. I'm not sure if I'm going to get out there or not yet. They actually have a 40-mile bicycle route that kind of goes through there, so I'm going to plan on doing that, and I think that probably will be part of my, at least one of my days doing that, and I think that'll be fun, and maybe get out on the lake possibly. We'll see how much time I got, and I think weather's supposed to be pretty nice this weekend. We've been in 60s, lower 70s, but it's supposed to be 85 on Saturday and Sunday, so that'll be kind of nice too. I prefer the warm over the cold, and winter's coming. So, yeah, back to you.
You guys are already in the 60s and 70s during the day over there? Back to you.
Yeah, and it's like 40s, 50s at night. So it's yeah, it's getting here. I don't like it. I'm not ready for winter, but yeah, it's coming back.
Oh man, we definitely live in a different spectrum, a different side of the spectrum, because we've been miserable here for the last 3 or 4 months. We've been like just literally simmering in our orange juices here at 112, 115 with the heat index, and boy, oh boy, I'm originally from the Caribbean, but I never liked the heat or the humidity. So, I don't know, that sounds really awesome. Now, I know that it will get really cold. You guys get like real winters up there. So that's something that I would not, I mean, I've been to cold places. I would take it for, a day or two, but not to live there. So, when does it get really bad for you, and when does it end? Back to you.
Well, winters have been kind of weird here the last few years, I think, with just the way the weather's been going, but it's usually, it starts getting cold like pretty soon, probably mid to late October. It's going to be pretty cold. Well, not cold, but probably cold by your standards. But it's like January, February, it's like probably 30, 40 below, so not all the time, but it definitely gets down to that, and that's brutal. So, but we also get the extremes. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, it was I went camping, and it was 105, and that was just not with the heat index. That was pretty rough. It was pretty much sit in my camper in AC because it was hard to do anything with that kind of temperature. Back to you.
Man, that kills the fun for sure. Have you lived all your life up there? Back to you.
Yeah, I've been in St. Paul my whole life. I'm St. Paul, but I'm much closer to Minneapolis downtown. I'm kind of on the edge of St. Paul, but yeah, I've been here my whole life. So I like it here. It's really nice. I'm in the city, so I do HF work, but I'm in the city, so it's a little rough doing it. There's a lot of noise, and it's sometimes not the most optimal conditions for it, but or for putting up an antenna either, anything big. So, yeah, back to you.
No, very cool, man. No, I totally get it. It's funny because I know Sky and 5LX, we were just talking to him. He built a mag loop antenna for HF, and obviously those are real estate friendly. They don't take a whole lot of space. And he said that when he compared his previous antenna or other antennas that he has for HF to that mag loop here in the city, he gets a lot less noise. So something to keep in mind. He builds his own mag loop antennas. That makes it a lot, I guess, easier on the wallet, because those things tend to be really expensive if you buy them, already built. I have a question for you, Brad. I have two questions, but the first one is, do you have a favorite conspiracy theory by any chance?
I wouldn't say so necessarily, but one of the guys earlier had mentioned about 5G. I do find that one interesting, just in the fact that, I think what people get concerned about with 5G, with, cancer, radiation, whatever, is like, which is not a concern at all with that, but, there's obviously a lot of privacy concerns with it. Just with more trackability, and it's funny that I feel like that never really gets brought up with it. It's always the other point that's just a non-point of 5G. Back to you.
Yeah, it's always the funny part that shows up, but yeah, the more privacy. Well, that's what we do, ham radio, I guess. Here we can't be trapped. Well, I guess we can because we have a call sign. That's why I like 11 meters, y'all. That's the only place where there's actually privacy out there. Very cool. And then question: how long have you been a ham, and what got you interested in this? Back to you.
I've been a ham since 2019. My main kind of reason I ended up getting licensed is at the time I was doing a lot of remote control RC planes, and some of the stuff I wanted to do was in the ham frequencies, so I ended up getting licensed to mess with some of that stuff, with like beaconing and stuff. That was my main reason, and then I kind of actually really liked ham a lot more and kind of got a lot more into that. But then I've actually not been active for about 2 years. My dad had gotten really sick, and I ended up being taking care of him and got out of the radios. And but now I'm getting back into it, and I've been getting into some of like digital stuff with like DMR and stuff too that I never did. And obviously I got All-Star, which I just got set up about 2-3 weeks ago, and kind of really enjoying it, kind of getting out there a lot more. There's obviously a lot of repeater activity in the cities here, but being able to talk to people elsewhere, like where you guys are, is always fun.
No, man, absolutely. All-Star and Echolink, those that makes a big, huge difference. I mean, sorry to hear that your dad's, sick. Life is, funny like that, always throw curves. Well, cool, man. I'm glad to hear that you're back on the radio and, got to talk to us as well here. Obviously your All-Star note is working really well. You have good audio, it's just perfect. Sound like you're here. Very cool, man. Really happy to have you on our net. And let me open up the floor, see if the guys are still awake. We have Brad here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, if you have any questions for him, please call in with your name and call sign.
N5LX.
Go ahead, Sky.
I just wanted to say hi, Brad, and I'm envious of you being in Minnesota. It's beautiful and it's cool, but I'm not envious of the winters there.
Yeah, thanks for that. Nice to make contact with you, Sky. Right now is kind of optimal time of year for us here with leaf change. Actually, getting a camping site for this weekend was pretty hard. Like every campground is basically full, just because everybody wants to get out and see all the leaf change, and it's really, really beautiful at this time of year. So, yeah, if you can ever make it up in the fall time, it's definitely, it's still good weather, but, just, like I said, just gorgeous, out and, but yeah, thanks, and send it back to Nat.
Thank you, Sky, for your comment. We have Brad here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, please call in with your name and call sign.
KC3, NAG.
Go ahead, Randy.
Hey, Brad. Yeah, I'll jump on Google Maps. I used to, I grew up in New York State, like around Binghamton, maybe Syracuse area, out in the middle of the state. Back when there was snow and cold, but I haven't lived there in quite some time. But yeah, I know the weather, man. And I actually liked it because like you can get outside and do things. Like let's go skiing. Let's just walk around in the snow. Maybe snowmobiles or something. Not that I did a whole lot of that. But there's lots of things you can do in the wintertime to get outside. I've been down here hanging out with my mom for like 4 years now. And as Ernesto said, like, yeah, 105, 110 every day for like 3 months. Like, you ain't going outside doing nothing, man. Back to you.
Yeah, so KE0YRX. Yeah, it's, obviously, from having lived in it, funny thing is, at least the last couple of years is, we get really hammered with snow. And the last couple of years hasn't been terrible. I mean, we still get, probably 3-4 feet of snow, but out east and stuff, New York and last couple of years has just been getting hammered. And I guess that's kind of glad that we're not getting it. It's been kind of shifting east a little bit. I can handle a foot or two of snow, but once you get up to your waist and then it's here till at least May, that kind of it gets a little old. But yeah, thanks. Nice to meet you and make contact with you. Back to net.
Thank you, Randy, for your comment. Yeah, man, we're definitely on a different side of the spectrum. Like I said, we just got out of the 3 or 4 months of hell, and now we get to the really nice weather, and it stays around until probably the end of May of next year. I don't mind the winters that we get here. You can just pass them wearing sandals and a hoodie. Unless we get one of those ice storms. If we don't get one of those, it's pretty mild compared to what you have to deal up there. Well, Brad, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, I don't think I have anything else to add. Like I said, I really appreciate what you're doing here, running the net, and everybody else out there, good listen along tonight. And I'll definitely be checking in the future, and possibly if I can get my All-Star note going while camping, possibly check in with you tomorrow or maybe even Sunday. But yeah, thanks again, and back to you. It's KE0YRX.
Brad, thanks again for checking into the net. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you again here. We're here every Thursday and also the last Friday of the month, and I'm also running a net every Sunday at 7:30 on this frequency as well. All right, that was Brad, KE0YRX, and he was my last regular check-in. That was a long run. I wonder if there's people still awake that would like to check into the net. If you'd like to check into the net, please call Net Control with your name and call sign.
This is WZ5BBS, Rusty, Northwest Austin.
This is November 8, India, Juliet with a confession, Ignacio.
Kilo 7, Tango Victor Alpha, David, North Austin.
We got Rusty, Ignacio, and David. Anybody else that would like to check in, please call in with your name and call sign. All right, well, let's go and check with El Rusty, WZ5BBS. Rusty, what's going on, man? How's life treating you?
I think you hold the record for longest first round of check-ins, man. This is impressive. Man, just listen to the net, playing around the house. Nothing important. But, so conspiracy theories. I'm going to have to go with the flat earthers and the chemtrails that make us all gay, or whatever they make us. Those would be the two fun ones. I really want the aliens. There's been enough stuff out there. The aliens are out there. We just, it's got to happen. So one of these days we'll get to meet them, and it'll be all public and everything. But until then, I'm going to go with the crazy people, with the flat earthers and the chemtrails.
I totally forgot about the chemtrail. It's been a while since I heard that one. Oh man, it's never ending. I really enjoy hearing all of these things because some of them, like I said, I have forgotten about them. And the flat Earth, that's just keeps adding to the list of fun things. Yeah, man. But you know me. You put a radio in front of me, and I would just start talking. Even if people don't check in, I will spend 3 or 4 hours talking. like the crazy person that I am, but thank goodness for radio, I look normal talking here for 3 hours. Because that's, that's how my brain works, and I put half of Austin already to sleep here talking, but no, dude, and my other question for you is, are you going to Belton?
That is the plan. The plan actually is to hitch a ride with you, so I guess the real question is are you going to Belton?
Man, we should rent like a little school bus and get the whole the whole crew up there. Be a lot of fun. We get one of those party bus, and by the time we get there at 7:30 in the morning, we're already completely blasted and drunk. So that speeds up the process of the sun. Back to you.
You know, if we were smart, we would go hijack Ray's RV, and we could do like those guys in the parking lot. We could make breakfast tacos, and we could like feed people, $5 a taco, something like that, and we could make money, and like whatever money that we make on tacos, we could go spend at the Ham Fest. What do you think about that?
That's too much work, man. I look like a homeless person, so I just go around and people give me stuff for free. So I just keep riding that wagon of, I look like a hobo, give me all this stuff. So yeah, man, definitely going. Looking forward to Belton. It's always a blast going up there. Do you know if they have anything going on next door or what they have going on by any chance? Back to you.
I honestly don't, but when I looked at the website, usually they have the gun show info stuff there, and I didn't see anything, so I should go look at the Bell County Expo and see if they have. Usually the gun show is in the fall. Last time we went, it was March, April, somewhere around in there. And they didn't have it, so I'm guessing if everything is like it usually is, then the gun show should be next door.
All right, man. Because I know that I think it was on the last one they probably had they had a hot tub expo or something. The previous time they had the Purina dog show and whatever. There's always something interesting to go and check out next door after you're done with all of the radio junk at the Ham Fest. Do you have a list of things that you're looking for at the Ham Fest? Back to you.
Man, I got nothing. I don't need anything, but that's I didn't need anything last time I went, and I ended up getting the tower light. So I'm sitting here while we're yakking, and I'm looking at the Bell County Expo Center, and it is taking its sweet time to load. And we have the Lone Star Gun Show September 30th. Oh, so it's this weekend. Wah wah wah. And then let's see, October 6th is the Ham Club Radio Show. And then October 7th is the Ranch Sorting of America, whatever in the world that is. But yeah, no, so it looks like the gun show is September 30th. We're going to miss out on that, man.
Well, man, no guns, no Purina dog show, no hot tub expo. So I guess we'll do the Ham Fest. That means we'll have more time to look around for more stuff to buy. It's going to be a fun one, I don't know, for whatever reason it seems like every time we go it's more and more fun. I guess more people and plus I've been at this a little bit longer, so I get to at least identify some of the things that I see, as opposed to when I started going over there that I was just the only thing that I could identify were people, not the equipment. So that should make it easier, man. Back to you.
Yeah, I never feel like a real ham on the air, but when I go to the Ham Expo in Belton, I feel like a proper ham because I know people. People come up and chat with us. We got all the guys from the Austin Club. We got a good representation from the Oak Club. I believe the UT kiddos are going to be there, as well as the A&M Club. And if we're lucky, the Crossroads peeps will be there, and we'll get to see them. It's been a while since I've chatted with any of them. So hopefully we'll have a whole big crew of people.
Comment.
Go ahead, comment.
Thank you, Ernesto. Yeah, and hey, Rusty, you know, like, I know guys from, you know, the different radio clubs around up here in Northwest Austin or whatnot, and I've always encouraged them to, like, hey, you know, if you're going to, like, you know, Belton or something like that, wear a badge. Like, just make a little paper badge and, like, stick it on or paper clip it or do something, because when you're there, you're going to walk by people you have talked to, but you don't know their faces. You don't know who they are. So, yeah, you know, if you go into Belton, you know, newbie or oldie, like, just put some kind of badge on, okay? Yeah, I've been throwing that out to the different clubs for the last couple of weeks, man. Just saying.
Yeah, that's a good point, Randy. I thought you were going to tell me I needed to wear pants, which, you know, I'll wear something like that. But yeah, no, that was probably the craziest thing. Was it last time we went, Ernesto, or the time before? And we were sitting there talking, and somebody recognized me by my voice. And that was trippy. It was really cool, but it was trippy. But yeah, no, I wear my name tag for that reason, because you're right. You know, everybody shows up there, and unless you know people, then so be it. But last time we went, Ray had an RV and was selling stuff, and I met people there. And you're right, I met them, and I knew who they were because they had their call sign on their hat or their shirt or their badge. So yeah, no, definitely take the badge to Belton.
Thank you, Randy, for that comment. And that's, you know, I didn't think about that because obviously I'm a new ham, whatever. And I think that's very, very, very important because, yeah, it's you could not have said it better than that. It's interesting. We talk to people and we know them, you know, quote, quote, we know them, and we've been talking to them for a while, but some people that I've been talking here, you know, for a while, I have never met them in person. So, you know, unless you have your picture on your QRZ and I happen to look at it, I will not know. So, yeah, it's a good point. I'm gonna go in with my Storky hat, and I also have the tag too. And although I'm pretty easy to recognize with this accent, you can probably hear me from the other side of the Belton thing, and you know it's me. But very cool. That's very interesting. Things to do. I didn't think about that, and I remember. Yeah, it was not this last one. It was the previous one, Rusty. That we were outside checking the stuff out, and it was a couple. I remember, and they asked you, "Hey, are you the guy who runs the trivia net?" that was pretty cool. We had no idea who they were, and that was trippy for sure. Yeah, it's kind of weird to be recognized like that, but well, very cool. Do you have any plans for the weekend, my friend?
I got some people coming over to the house. Not a whole lot on the schedule. Like Dud said, there's no F1 this weekend, which is kind of a bummer. Also, for those of you listening that have never been to Belton, I got my badge at Belton. So don't feel like you need to go buy one before Belton. They'll have all that stuff on sale there. They'll make it while you're there. So if you don't have a badge or if you need something, you can totally get it at Belton. But no, man, pretty low-key. Maybe go fox hunting. Maybe put out a fox. Lots of possibly maybes up in the air right now. But no, should be a chill weekend.
And are you going to breakfast?
Oh, that is a definite possible maybe.
Man, you're a Rick with those answers. All right. Well, we have Rusty here, the president of the club on the net, WZ5BBS. If you would like to say hi to him, if you have any questions or complaints, since he's the president, please call in with your name and call sign.
Rick, AI5JT.
Go ahead, Rick.
The A&M net's still a thing. I don't remember hearing it. It was like on Tuesday nights, I think.
The A&M net was on Monday night, and we swapped it for the YL net so that we can get some lady voices over the repeater. And the A&M net should be over on Kyle's, so you should be able to hear it on the 441325 or anything on the KA5D system.
Thank you, that makes sense. Oh, and someone had asked about the KE5RF Fox earlier. John sent out an email to the Williamson County ARC mailing list and the Hambud mailing list announcing the results of that Fox hunt.
Cool. Can I put you on the spot? Do you know who they were by chance?
I'd have to crack open my laptop to take a look. I could forward something over to you if you want.
Oh, there's no need. If it was in front of you, that would have been one thing. Don't worry about it. All good.
Well, thank you, Rick, for calling in. We have Rusty here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, you have a question or a complaint for him because he is the president, please call in with your name and call sign. Nothing heard. Rusty, one thing that I would suggest for you to put on your list for things to buy at Belton, it will be an NFET antenna or any type of horizontal HF antenna because that's a must for the upcoming season. Do you have anything else for the net, Rusty, before we move on?
Yeah, I'm going to beat you with that Toblerone over there if you don't stop. One of these days, I'll be a real ham with real antennas and all that stuff. But until then, I'm just going to fake it, man. Thanks for running the net, dude. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
Rusty, I hope you have an awesome rest of the week. We'll be hanging out for sure. Hopefully you'll make it to breakfast. If not, I'll go and wake you up with Enrique afterwards to go fox hunting, but we'll figure something out. All right, well, that was Rusty, WZ5BBS on the net. And let's go now and check with Mr. Ignacio, N8IJ. And before I go to him, this is KI5PZN. Continue with the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Ignacio, what's going on, man? How is the week treating you?
My good friend Ernesto, ¿cómo estás? This is Ignacio, N8J. And hey, I have a confession to make. Last week, or last month, when you were holding that taco net, I didn't listen to the beginning. I came at the very end and then checked in. And you asked me a question. What's your favorite taco? Well, I didn't know what was a taco because where I come from, a taco is taco de zapato. And you're asking me what is my favorite taco is sort of strange, but I got from context in that food. So that's why I answered with empanadas. Now, in retrospect, what I've done since is Google taco and realized that in Tex-Mex, it means a tortilla with food in it, but that is new to me. So my answer may have seemed strange only because of my ignorance. Sorry about that. Back to you, Ernesto.
Hey man, nothing to worry about. I didn't grow up with tacos either. I come from the Caribbean, and in the Caribbean we do not eat tacos or tortillas or anything that's got some hotness to it. It took me a while to get used to the hot salsas and all the good stuff from the Mexican cuisine, but I am really happy that I am able to eat that stuff because boy oh boy, is that delicious or what. But no man, I totally get it. No, I'm with you. I actually started eating Mexican food, like real Mexican food, you know, a little bit over 20 years ago when I first started going out with Mireya, because, you know, I'm not from here, and I have, to me, the only tacos were like Taco Bell. I didn't know any of that shenanigans until she showed me the path. And I'm really happy because, man, I really dig the tacos and all of that stuff. I know. But if it's Mexican food, sign me up, because that stuff is delicious, man. So life treating you well otherwise? Back to you.
Yes, it is. I'm happy. Very busy with the kids here. That's why weekends are difficult for me to join the club, because my kids' family and my grandson have outings, and I like to join them when I can. For example, Belton is the same day as my grandson's birthday, so unfortunately, although I had plans to go, I won't be able to do so. So maybe next year. But other than that, life is good. Back to you, Ernesto. This is N8IJ.
Well, Ignacio, the good thing about Belton is that it's twice a year. So hopefully, when it comes around again during the springtime, it doesn't fall on anybody's birthdays or anniversaries or anything like that, and you are able to go, because somebody with the knowledge that you have would have a blast at that place, because there's so many things, and the majority of those things I have no idea what they are, but I know you would. So, I don't know, plan ahead for the next one, which is during the spring. And we always, you know, we keep, I mean, hopefully you'll be in Austin. I know you travel back to Europe, but if you're still in Austin, definitely, man, it's a really cool thing to do. And like I said, somebody like you would have an absolute blast in a place like that, because it is awesome, man. Have you been doing any HF radio or any radio at all during the week? Back to you, Ignacio.
Well, the answer is yes, but not the way you think. So I've been setting up, or attempting to set up, my Radio Shack in this RV I bought. But due to lots of life interventions, my son needing help and my grandson needing a few things, and I'm only, instead of working 100% on it, I'm working like 5% on the RV. So I have brand new radios out of the box, brand new cabling in the RV inside, where I have to take out the panelings and things to install the cabling. It looks like a war zone. It really does. But someday it will be finished, and hopefully one day you'll be able to come and do the taco net from my RV, my Radio Shack. Although that day, let's call it an empanada net. How about that? Back to you, Ernesto, N8IJ.
That would be awesome, man. We could probably do since it's a traveling taco net, we can probably do a mobile and just drive around town in your RV and run in the net. And since you are from Spain, we can have some paella, man. Back to you.
Strangely enough, I brought my paella pans from Spain. I have my real paella pans. So I'm really happy. It's funny how you get attached to only certain things in life, but I'm attached to my paella pans. So that's it pretty much for me. It's been a great time, and I'll take it back to the net. Thank you, Ernesto, and I'll be clear after the net shuts down. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, Ignacio. Thanks again for checking into the net. It's always a pleasure talking to you, man. I hope you make it to breakfast on Saturday. If not, we'll be talking to you soon. All right. Well, that was Ignacio, N8IJ. And let's go and check with David, K7TVA. David, what's going on, man? How is life treating you?
Hey, Ernesto. Good to hear you. I don't have much going on here, much to report. Looking forward to the Taco Net, though. It's going to be fun. I've been looking forward to the Taco Net ever since the last Taco Net, so I guess that's just my life now, just always looking forward to the Taco Net. And the topic of conspiracy theories actually makes me think of an old friend of mine who I haven't seen in a long time, who, and I don't really have a favorite conspiracy theory. His name was Paul. Paul's favorite conspiracy theory was that D.B. Cooper and Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, were the same person. And after D.B. Cooper escaped from an airplane with a bunch of money, he became Sasquatch. And I thought that was a pretty good conspiracy theory. You know, there are no winners or losers in that conspiracy. No losers to that conspiracy theory, only winners.
Oh, that's a juicy one, and that would explain, you know, when they took that famous video, why it moves more like a human than an ape. So, you know, he might be up to something, man. You never know. David, are you going to Belton?
That's a good question. I haven't really given it much thought. I don't think I have any really good excuse not to, and I've never been to a ham fest before, so maybe I will. I don't even know exactly how far the drive is. Maybe I got to get in on this carpool action. This is K7 TVA.
Oh man, you definitely should go as well. You are another guy who's got a lot of knowledge, and you'll get a kick out of that. It's probably about 40 minutes from here. It's right before you hit Temples. It's not that far away. It's just, I would say about 40 minutes, if that. I remember a couple of years ago, I probably got there a lot quicker than that. I was driving up 35 and it was dark. And I was going fast because, you know, I'm trying to get there early enough to get good deals. And I usually have my radios on, you know, unless I have mid-edge and we're talking and stuff. They're usually on. I'm monitoring the simplex frequency. And obviously I'm passing a bunch of cars. I'm going like 90 miles per hour. Who knows? I'm going fast. I'm going fast. And I hear my call sign on the radio. And I call back, and it was Mike, K5MWA. He's like, hey, do you have license plate with your call sign? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you just passed me like at 90 miles per hour now. And that was a fun trip to go to Belton. That shows you how much I like going to Belton. But aside from the junk, which is awesome, the other part that I really enjoy is the social aspect of it, because you know, like Randy was saying, you get to talk to people that, you know, you talked in the past and you just never met them before, and that's super neat. Plus all the people that you know and you talk to if you've been a ham for a little bit, and you've been going to the club stuff, you get to see them there too. So the social part is, to me, it's just as important or as fun as the stuff that we get to buy and, you know, and look at. So it's if you have the chance, man, and we can probably figure something out. I don't know. We can get on Discord and figure something out. But it's not a long drive, and it's definitely a fun thing. And if you go once, you probably will continue going if you can. So I definitely recommend the Ham Fest for sure, my friend. David, have you done any HF radio this week? Back to you, or any radio.
Well, first of all, Ernesto, you're a pretty good salesman. You're making a good case for Belton there. And about 40 miles up to Temple is not bad at all. So I guess I really do have no excuse not to go. As far as for radio recently, I guess I'll say that I did the CW net right before this net, and had a good contact with Sam there. Pat, our usual leader, wasn't available today, but we had a good net regardless. So yeah, that was fun. That's what I went up to recently on the radio, K7 TVA.
Well, cool, man. It's been a little bit since I've been able to join the CW net. I keep practicing. Don't get me wrong. I keep practicing, and I'm not, you know, planning on dropping that because it's been fun. I'm getting, I guess, to the point of just listening conversations on CWs and try to get as much as I can. I'm getting better at it, but still, you know, long way to go before I'm proficient on CW. But, you know, it's the plan, and hopefully we'll get that done. How's your CW skills now? How are your skills? Back to you.
I haven't gotten better very much over the course of the last few months because I'm not really doing too much practicing off of the air or really like trying to push the speed or anything. So it's something I should devote more work to. But I had to ask Sam to slow down. I don't know if Sam is deliberately pushing me to try to like copy a little faster than I normally do, but he was going a little fast. I had to ask him to slow down today. I go at about like 10 or 12 words per minute. I think is my range. So that'll get you if I had to time travel back to when it was required for the licenses, that'll get you a license. So I guess that's something.
Yeah, I still have issues definitely copying, but I think I'm saying like between 10 and 12 words that I can key out when I can key, but still in the copy I'm like super slow. Now I've noticed something, and I know that happens to you when I'm talking to Pat on CW. He slows down because he knows that I'm a newbie, so he slows down really slow, and for whatever reason that makes it harder for me to copy. Do you get the same thing? Back to you.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think if it's too slow, then what happens is like the letter takes too long, and so the whole sound doesn't like stay in your brain. Whereas if the letter finishes, once it's done, that's when you can start to actually copy it. I know we should be copying whole words and not letters, but that's a big bar to jump over on that.
Yeah, that's what happens when it's too slow. I'm going now through a video that Pat sent me a while back. He sent me two. He sent me one that it's like 4 hours of random CW characters and numbers, and then the one that I'm working on now, because I already got that one down, is it's words. So I'm characters, just trying to listen to short and the most common characters, and I think it's like also like 3 or 4 hours on that video, and I play once in a while while I'm working, and if I'm doing something that I don't have to have all my cylinders in, I play that on the background, and I'm starting, the short ones, I'm starting to hear them, and it's better, but it takes practice. Although it's been a lot of fun. So anybody listening, if there's anybody listening still, CW, it's definitely a really fun thing to do. But yeah.
I think I know that YouTube channel that you're talking about. Is that the one where they have like they send it in Morse code and then like say it and then send it again and there's like a beep and it goes to the next one?
Sir, it's got like a cartoon guy with a CW on the clip now.
Yeah, I've practiced with those videos some too. It's ridiculous how many videos there are on that channel that they're all like hours and hours long. So there must be thousands of hours of practice available if you did it all. But that's ridiculous. K7TVA.
Absolutely, but I think that's a great way of learning, because you're hearing the actual tone, the actual CW, and that's what people are doing out there. So hopefully, if I do another few months of those characters, I might be getting better at copying. I still have to master the actual protocol. I'm still kind of lost when people talk to me, but that's something that I'm going to be working on as I get better on copying. Right, well, we got David here on the net, K7TVA. If you would like to say hi to him, or if you have a question for David, please call in with your name and call sign.
KC3, NAG.
Go ahead, Randy.
Hey, Dave. Cool on the CW. I mean, it's something I'd like to learn so I could, maybe talk to my brother in New York State or whatnot. But somebody hit it on the head earlier, Ernesto, of just learn the contact word information. Just like, I am here, you are there, this is my call sign, and then start learning words that would go along with that, like, where are you, QTH, of course, but start learning words, because all those letters are just going to spin in your head, man. You need to learn the words.
Yeah, I know. It's just hard, and then, the letters have always got to still be there because call signs come in letters, not words. So, I don't know. Maybe I've boiled the pot by going too far on like single letter copying. Maybe I need to forget it all so I can start over. K7TVA.
Well, hey man, I mean, you're not going. No, you haven't gone too far any place. Yeah, it's like someone earlier said, like it's a brute force game. I mean, you just gotta like force it in you. Don't try to do CW and try to listen to the radio or do something else at the same time. You gotta bang it in your head, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Absolutely not a multitasking situation.
All right, rock on. Back to net control.
All right, Randy, thank you for that. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do at this point now, just jumping onto the character so that I can hear actual words instead of just following. And I know that, I guess, when the call sign comes in, we have to, look for the letters, and that's the only time that we have to do letter by letter when it's a call sign, but eventually everything else should come in like English or any other language that we can speak. So that's the goal. Hopefully, get to that point. All right. Well, we got David here on the net. If you would like to say hi to him, or you have any question for him, please call in with your name and call sign. All right, nothing heard. David, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, sir. I am good to go. Back to you, K7TVA.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for checking in to tonight's net. And I hope you have an awesome rest of the week and a really cool weekend as well. Well, that was David, K7TVA. That was my last check-in for the night. I'm going to open the floor again to see if anybody out there would like to check in to the net. If you would like to check into the net, please call in with your name and call sign. Well, it sounds like it's time to wrap up the net, but before I do that, let me read you a list of local nets that we have access to so that you can stay radioactive throughout the week. It started on Mondays with the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club 6-meter Monday. That's on the 50.125 megahertz frequency at 8 p.m. Also on Mondays, we have 4 nets on Mondays. We have the Williamson County Amateur Radio Club Newham net, and that's on the 146.640 megahertz repeater, also at 8 p.m. Also, we have the weekly YL net on the Oak Hill repeater system, also at 8 p.m. And the Texas A&M University Amateur Radio Club Information and Training net, and that will be on the University Link repeater system at 8 p.m. on Mondays. On Tuesdays, we have the Oak Hill Southside Simplex, hosted by Ray, K5BZI, and that's on the 146.555 megahertz at 8 p.m. Also on Tuesdays, and that one, I need to flip this because I should say this one first, is the Absolute Tech Net. It's on Tuesday, and that one starts at 6 p.m. And that's on the Oak Hill repeater system. I'll change that order for next week. All right, on Wednesday, we have the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday net, and that's on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system, and that's at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we have 2 nets. We have the Oak Hill CW net. We'll be talking about that one tonight. And that's hosted by Pat W5WTH. And to get there, you go to the 3.532 megahertz frequency. That's 80 meters at 7:30 every Thursday. Again, 3.532 megahertz at 7:30. At 8 p.m. this one, the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net, hosted by a different operator every week. And this is on the N50AK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. And we get started at 8 p.m. every Thursday night. On Fridays, on the last Friday of the month, and that's tomorrow, we have the Traveling Taco Net, and that starts at 7, from 7 till 9 on the N50AK repeater system and the University Link repeater system as well. And we are going to be tomorrow visiting Randy, KC3NAG, so stay tuned for that one. That should be a fun one. Then on Saturdays, we have 3 nets. We have at 10 a.m., or around 10 a.m. in the morning, we have the K5LBJ News and Information Net. That's on the N50AK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. Again, that's around 10 a.m. At 7 p.m. on Saturdays, the Austin Amateur Radio Club Elmer's Net, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW. And that's on the 146.940 megahertz at 7 p.m. At 9 p.m., there's the 220 megahertz Guys Original Preservation Net, hosted by Steve, KB9DSQ. And to get to those guys, your best shot is by Echolink, by connecting to WM9W-R. That's Whiskey Mike Niner Whiskey-Romeo. Like saying Romeo. And then on Sundays, we have 4 nets. We have the Austin Amateur Radio Club 10-meter weekly net, and that's on the 28.410 megahertz at 3 p.m.